Good evening. It's Saturday, and no technological calamities have occurred. So I'm thinking we're going to have some fun. First of all, very big thank you to John Sidoric for providing the art, or allowing me to use the art for Blackcoats. Please go and check him out. Really cool artist. So, first things first, boilerplate disclaimer before we get started. Players are not due to arrive for 10 minutes. I just thought I'd have 10 minutes alone with the audience or people who are going to watch this in perpetuity to just go over the game, what you should expect, and what kind of rule system we're playing. So, Blackcoats is a game, it's not really for the faint of heart. There will be a lot of NSFW content in this stream. If you're not happy with extreme levels of violence, disturbing imagery, sexual themes, and all those things mixed in together, you're probably not going to enjoy this live stream. So please don't feel like you need to stick around, or if you've opened this video, don't feel like you need to stick around watching from start to finish, because yes, Blackcoats is a very dark setting. It is not one that is, again, for the faint of heart, and in all honesty, you could probably just do better, going watching like Critical Role or something. Nothing wrong with that, but yeah. So Blackcoats is a very, very dark themed RPG. The characters that you will be seeing tonight are not good people. These are people who are assassins, and they are government agents tasked with annihilating demonic forces in a magically infused 1800s England, or English type state. So, that's the first disclaimer I wanted to get out of the way. Second one is the system. So the system we're using is one I wrote. Mainly uses D6s. Very simple system. You roll against your attributes, and if you get any 5s or 6s, those are successes. And the storyteller, the GM, decides how many successes you need to perform an act. There are more intrinsic rules that we will get into as we go through the game. But in all honesty, it's a very, 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 very simple system. Doesn't need much explaining. And also, if you like what you see, if you like the system, if you like the role-playing campaign we're putting on, if you like the way it's being played, if you like the world, if you like the rules, whatever, if you're enjoying yourself, feel free to head on over to Patreon. You don't need to. As I say in the description, only give what you can spare. I'm not into e-begging, but it's there. If you want to show some appreciation, it might help me get a licensing deal at some point for the game. Aiming for a 2022 release, which would be very nice if we could do that. But yeah, this is the first time it's ever been played. Okay, it's been played by me and a few friends behind the scenes, but the first time it's ever been recorded in an actual honest-to-God game is right now. So, yeah. I'm going to whack the music back on again, and hopefully the players will turn up in about 10 minutes. I can already see them chatting away. There may be ERP. There may not be ERP. It depends on what the players want to do. I'm fine role-playing that, but I normally just fade to black on things like that, to be honest with you. One of our vampires is charging his headset. 21st century problems.
It's good. It's a quick charging one. I just, was using it last night and forgot. They charge up pretty quick. It's a Bose one. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Time difference. Time difference does make a difference. Yeah. Turn that down to like 10%. But yeah, I was gonna ask, because I was looking at the gear and I saw that like the leather armor, boots and gloves, and but for and the stuff you posted in in the Discord channel, I was looking for the like weapon options. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Because yeah, I was just kind of looking for just something, nothing too crazy. Mostly just like a cestus or Qatar, kind of fitting his play style of just running up and wailing on stuff. A Qatar. So it's like it's basically like a fist weapon with a blade on a long blade at the end. Yeah.
Hey up.
All right.
Hey up.
How's it going, man?
Good, thanks. You?
Not too bad. Katar.
In game or the place?
The weapon.
Fair enough.
So right now have three strength, three speed, and two in wit because the devil blood. Yep. Excellent. Yeah, I did find that. Yeah. Mhm.
Or you have a death wish.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah, I had it. I forgot. I was actually talking, but I forgot I had push to talk on. It was just talking without pushing it. The classic.
That'll do it.
Perfect.
Cool.
How's it going?
My real name is even harder to pronounce. It's Mihao.
Oh, fair enough. Yup.
So when he's out and about to kind of, to avoid the sun and such, he basically just kind of in almost like a trench coat with a tall brimmed hat. It's like very, very grim dark looking, but his sense of style is almost non-existent. It is, yeah, it's yeah, just like a dark brown, you know. He's uh, yeah, unless if he feels like he's going out to, where he's going to need his armor, he's wearing his black coat. Yep. Yeah, yeah, he'd have just like um yeah, if he would have that available, yeah, because I imagine like the black coats generally dress up when they're not in their uniform, like yeah, so that I'm like within the facilities. Yeah, 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 yeah. So I'm because like for my character's story, he was kind of like raised within the facility. He doesn't really. So I figure like the kind of like I figure when they're in their facility, because military facility, they have to be dressed up. So like something like a vest and such would be more comfortable for him than just casual clothes. Yeah. Oh, it would be in both hands, but I figure dual wielding's not something I'm quite at yet. But I would just do like one attack per, right? But for effect, he'd have both. Yeah. You had the leather boots linked earlier that I saw, and I just grabbed those. I Yeah, so he wouldn't trust himself with like a like a nice rifle or anything, but he'd probably have just a small pistol just in case, just to have it. Not that he would trust himself to use it properly, and probably a dagger that he could conceal. he doesn't. He's not proficient enough to want to get anything fancy. It's yeah. Yeah. Or actually, he would probably have it. Oh no, because he can't handle silver stuff, right? It'll. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he would probably have one just as he would probably have it silvered because you know if he's hunting something, he'd want something a little more effective. He's just very careful with it. No playing the the stabbing hand game with the silvered knife.
Mhm.
Yep. Cool. Yep. 100%. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I imagine my character spends most of his spare money on, well, his addictions, so probably just commoner's clothes. Something a poor person would wear. Sure. Mm, yeah, silk, or I also imagine probably wrapping body parts in steel chains to act as armor because that seems pretty cheap. Yeah, leather boots seems okay. Hmm. Yeah, this list in general. The chisel I don't intend to be used as a weapon generally. It's to make improvised weapons out of. For example, if weapons are lost for some reason, so I don't know, something can be quickly hacked into like a stake or a hole in a wall, like that. It's strength at 4. No, no, just iron.
as much fun as silvered guitars would be, they're a little too, all over the place for me to risk them being silvered. Oh, yep, that's it. New character.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that then.
There we go. So we are all done for our equipment, which is great, which is fantastic.
Oh.
Excellent. I'll turn myself back on. Brilliant. There we go. So let us look into. So in terms of hideouts, I had an idea. Feel free to shoot me down. I had an idea of you guys being in a library, right? So it's a rundown library right on the edge of the water, in New Corinth. So I'm gonna just upload this. So this is the city map so far that we have. So where you will be, if you can see on the top right, there is a little island there. That is number 20. Oh, hang on, I've got a better picture than that. 1 second. I have a better picture than that. Talk amongst yourselves. Or maybe I don't. Could swear I did that yesterday. Oh well. So we are looking at. Oh, how do I do this in Roll20? So look at the top E at the top. There should be an E right at the top. You go to the right of that. There should be a little island down below with a number on it. It should be 23. That is where you are. So that is where your library is. It is stationed right there, right on the water. It has a shop out front of it that is abandoned right now. Like there's nothing in it. And this is a rundown area of New Corinth. This isn't an area that is affluent at all. In general terms, the more you go into the city, the more affluent things become, and the more towards, if you can see next to the Reese River there, the number 1, that is the palace. That is the Crimson Palace. The nearer you get to that, the more affluent things are. So you're not that far away from the bustling centre of things, but in all honesty, this is a rundown part of town. Lots of people live here. It's full of it's a wretched type of scum and villainy, essentially. So you've got sailors, you've got mercenaries, you've got pirates, you've got smugglers, you've got assassins, you've got poisoners, you've got legitimate businessmen, merchants, all crammed into this place. Prostitutes galore. This is the place to come. This is the old town, of New Corinth, and you are in a place called the Embankment Library. Okay, you are a few streets down from the Great Embankment Theatre. So these are all grand buildings that when New Corinth was originally built, these buildings were the talk of the town. These are the big places for you to come but as technology has moved on over the years and decades and centuries, the big buildings have moved further inland, further into the city, and this has kind of been left behind, right? You got no electric lights here. Actually, no, you do. You do have electric lights on the streets, and there are electric lights in things like the Grand Embankment Theatre. But apart from that, there's nothing really going on. All right. In New Corinth tonight, there is a very, very, very violent storm, a rainstorm going on. As we move in the camera across the Black Glass Sea, coming towards the city is sending out. There's almost two cities when you look at New Corinth from the sea, because the Black Glass Sea is so calm most of the time, especially around cities, that it's reflective. So you've almost got two cities as you come in. And we're going to wind into the window of this. It is a circular building with a domed roof, and inside there are dim orange lights. This is where the party rests. This is your safe house. This is your home away from home. The old embankment library. Not been used in decades. So all of the tomes are all musty and rotting away. There's not a lot of... there's broken furniture everywhere. There's all sorts of... There's rats. There's all sorts of things. If you are of the vampiric persuasion, have any of you ever... have you eaten rats before? Or is that something you go for?
Like, in character?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so, because only sentient blood helps with stuff, right?
Yeah, it does. I mean, you can tide yourself over with animal blood, but sentient blood will allow you to heal. Basically, sentient blood allows you to do the more impactful things as a half vampire. So
yeah, I guess my character would have probably tasted rat at some point.
all right, so you're sitting probably lazing on a broken chair downstairs. You guys have been here for a night or two at this point. You've become your newly minted Blackcoats. You've been thrown together and given a cell name, which you will decide yourself. And you are in this embankment theatre. This is where you are. This is what you're doing right now. This is where you're living. Upstairs, you guys are, like Filberto and Dennis, you guys are downstairs. You've exchanged a few terse words with each other. You're not really that trusting of each other. Let's be honest. You've just been thrown together. You know the natures of the other person, so you guys know that you're both half vampires. And there's been sort of a predatory stare off the past couple of days, because when two vampires meet, this is normally what occurs. You know, even though actual vampires would say you guys are just cosplaying as vampires, not real vampires, but we won't go there.
And I'll back the fuck off from both of you.
Exactly. So upstairs, you've been hearing constant, like, grinding of pestle and mortars, and mutterings and cursings, and the sound of boiling bits of water and things like that. And you've had the most outrageous stench has been coming from upstairs, where your third member of your party greeted you a few days ago, but hasn't said a word to you since. Now, Filberto, you're upstairs, and where in this, there are 3 floors to this library. So the ground floor is where Dennis and Filberto have sort of, kitted out, sleeping bags, things like that. You have the middle, and there's walls of books around them, and tables filled with books and tomes. On the second floor is the same. It's a circular wall all the way around of books. That's dark. There's nothing there. There's no one there at the moment. And then on the third floor is where you put your poisonous nook. That's where you're sitting and doing your work. Yeah. You were there for a few days before the other two, so you've sort of taken over this little part of the library as your own little sanctum. So, where would you guys put the telegram? The telegram machine. Telegram machines in this setting are quite rare, but most government agencies have at least one where they are. So where would you guys put it?
I figured up on the second floor to keep it away from people who might just duck their heads in.
Yeah, you do get damp as well.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to the others, because my character would not really care about that.
That's fair enough. I'm guessing Filberto doesn't give a shit about it. Yeah, okay.
No, but I'd probably say second floor for the same reason.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Sangern is very much about, the mission, so he would definitely want it to be in a nice, safe spot.
Okay. So, above you, the actual ceiling of this place is glass. And it's a clear, frosted glass. It's not really frosted, it's just really old and dank. And you have... There are a few holes in it where vines are like dangling down. And so there is bits of water getting in. And Sangern, you've been really pissed off because it seems that no matter where you move in the night, a drop of water always finds its way onto you, and it's really pissing you off. But on the second floor, you all hear the telltale chirp of the telegram machine going off. And this is where I would give you 30 seconds just to give us a brief overview of your characters. Let's start with... We'll go from bottom to top. Let's start with Sangern first. Brief overview. What's your name? What's your poison?
So, Sangern is affectionately called, well, not really affectionately, but known as the Brute.
Mm-hmm.
And where he's from the Chamber Sanguine. He's a Nightkin, but he has a fairly weak bloodline.
Mhm.
So he does get bloodlust, but he's also like, he needs the blood to heal and stuff. But when he's not actively needing the blood to heal, he actually tends to sate his bloodlust just by, heavy amounts of violence. So, like, he is actually has a fight club that he goes to and works with to kind of let out his general, rage.
So that would be your session to session vice then. We're going to.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Is he a gambler at all?
Nah, he's fighting, and the fight club he goes to has criminals occasionally brought in to fight for their freedom. He tends to prefer those fights because if he ends up killing them, nobody really cares.
Alrighty. So, brilliant stuff. No pressure on anyone else to go any into that much detail. This is the language of David.
There's more, but we'll leave it.
I want to figure that out as we get in. I want to find out more about Sangern as we actually play. Because it always spoils it for me whenever I play with David, because he gives this really good backstory, and I'm like, I could have used that. So, Filberto, what are we looking at with you?
So I'm a Valentian student in a field called psychobiology.
Yep.
Namely, the interaction between the body and mind in humans, and how such can be manipulated, cajoled, or outright deceived at both the conscious and subconscious level. Basically, in the same way that vampires somewhat can enthrall humans.
Okay.
And so I basically took the pill from Limitless to boost my intelligence. Unfortunately, at the cost of my sanity.
So I'm kind of guessing this is why the other two are looking at you with some suspicion, because you've been gazing down at them and making notes this entire time.
Yeah. Yes. But still trying to keep my distance so that I am not enthralled.
Okay.
Because I know exactly what they could be trying to do to me.
Okay. Do you want to go into any of your side businesses or anything like that, or are you going to leave that to?
I would be a apothecary, sort of like low level doctor or something. Occasionally helping people, quote unquote, but conveniently acquiring new lab projects.
Okay, so Dennis, let's go to you. What are we looking at with Dennis these days?
He looks relatively unopposed. He looks like someone from the slums because looks relatively starved or like covered. You can see that he has a drug addiction. And he, as a cover, runs an orphanage, which he uses as a convenient excuse to have a source of blood, as well as an extra income from sending the kids out to beg. Otherwise, he generally has a pretty aloof attitude. He is a Blackcoat because he knows that if he quits, then he's gonna become a target of the Blackcoats, and that's about the way he views things.
All right. Would you say he is he's an unwilling Blackcoat, or would you say this is the greatest thing because now I'm
he's aloof. That's basically his attitude. That's what I do, and I can live that way.
Okay, cool. That's excellent. So, would your side business be like an undead Fagin then, like from Oliver, where you're just like you've got all these like urchins, and you send them out to go and steal for you and things and stuff like that, or would you say you're more of a vagrant sort of a person?
Something in between. It's less send out to steal, more send out and to gather information. That's the main goal.
Okay.
Because
the Baker Street Irregulars, kind of. The Sherlock Holmes has the network of the homeless kids that would gather information for him.
Yeah, possibly like that, but he also uses them as a source of blood, but in exchange feeds them and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, right. Oh, that's dark. I like it. Cool.
Oliver Twisted.
Oh yeah, just undead Fagin over there, just rocking back and forth. Love it, brilliant. Okay, so in terms, do you guys have any character portraits that you would like to share before we get started, or if you want to do a quick search online, try and find one that you'd like, and then just put it on here, just so people can see it. Just for the people viewing, so two of our characters are what's termed as Nightkin, and these are quite rare, actually, in the world, so it's quite rare to have two in the same cell, but it's pretty cool. They are half vampires. They are the children of vampires and mortals. Vampires in this setting, they're basically suffering from a really bad venereal disease that makes them hunger for blood. It's nothing unholy. It's nothing, it's an actual disease. It's a magical in nature, but it's an actual disease. So, you can pass it on to your children. Vampires are technically able to do all the things that mortals can do, depending on the strength of their blood. The bloodlines these days are quite weak, meaning that vampires can do everything from having sex to having kids to even... Some of them can even eat normal food, which is crazy. Our two vampires here are not that type of vampire, that type of nightkin. They cannot eat normal food. They must drink blood. Magical herpes, exactly. Yes, Charlie Sheen was a vampire in the setting. If he was alive in the setting, he would be definitely a vampire. So, in fact, if it ever becomes a movie, he's going to be in it as some sort of elder vampire chilling out in New Corinth somewhere. So, did anyone have any portraits that you'd like to share, anything like that?
I dropped one earlier when I uploaded it. It's kind of, him kind of in his, like... it would be more of him when he's, like, in his fighting rings. How he would, not wearing his nice suit, just stuff he could get torn up and bloodied.
Now, Filberto, I swear you had a good portrait. I know you're basically evil Rick, but...
Toxic Rick.
Toxic Rick, yeah. I mean, let me try and find one. I bet you I can find one.
It's gotta be Toxic Rick.
Bet you I can find one.
Oh, okay, we're going for legit portraits, not...
Yeah, character portraits, so people know what your character kind of looks like.
Okay, fair enough.
I honestly didn't think of one, but I'll try to look something up quickly.
Yeah, fine. All good.
Oh, yeah. That. That's actually better.
I was thinking of something more like this. That's what I was thinking of
for going for legit, going for more serious.
For an actual character, yes. I was thinking more like this for Filberto. Just from the descriptions you gave me, I found that the other night. I was like, wow, that looks really cool.
Oh yeah, fair.
So yeah, here is Filberto, and you're even in the lair. You're in where you're supposed to be. Looking, just checking things off a list. Why is this burning green? I don't know. I'm going to lick it. Okay, well, that was nice.
I claim ownership.
Exactly. So, whenever you find one, guys, just whack it in there so people know what you look like around abouts.
I'll throw mine in again.
Yeah, throw it in again.
They're all one.
Throw it into the chat so it's all there. Lovely. This is Sangern. Cool.
Vaguely something like this.
Yeah, that's cool. That's completely fine. Just with a load of rags on, just sitting there, wondering what's gone wrong. But So, the telegram machine is whirring. Who is going to it on the second floor?
Angern would probably just head straight there.
Yep. So you're going to climb up. So the staircase is broken. So you've got to climb up a rickety ladder to get onto the second floor.
How high is the second floor?
About 15 feet, 20 feet.
Damn. All right. Yeah, so he's going to climb his way up. He's definitely going to make a mental note to reinforce that ladder because I did take the giant trait.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it is creaking under that weight.
Yes.
Yeah.
You conk.
Yeah. I can just imagine Dennis looking at you at the corner of his eyes. He huddles in the corner like, that's going to break. That's definitely going to break.
Very.
I definitely wait until he gets off the ladder once I follow.
Yeah.
So,
is there a bit of rope that I could, secure something more stable than the ladder?
do a witch check.
Oh no.
Let's do our first witch check.
Oh. Hold on. Where's this?
Let's roll some dice.
Oh right, I have to do half because demon bloods.
Yep.
So that's one. It's exclamation point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Nope. So yeah, you don't see that there are. I'll level with you. There's not much useful in this library right now. You can certainly try and make a rope out of books, but apart from that, no, you're not gonna have much of a time.
Yeah, it was just like a quick glance before he gets onto the telegraph.
Just as you pat yourself down after your little climb. Filberto, are you aware people are climbing up? Do you think, or do you think you're just too engrossed in what you're doing?
I would have heard the churn. I would have just heard it slightly, but I wouldn't have heard people climbing up.
Okay.
I would have heard the telegram.
Okay.
Or what? But I might be too focused on my particular potion.
Perhaps your work is too important to be interrupted.
I mean, I'd rather he didn't burn down the library on our second day here. So I'll answer the telegram on my own.
All right. So the paper. So in our setting, all telegrams or most forms of communication are written in either pig's blood or really cheap crimson ink, whatever's cheapest. This is because official communications between government agents are written in black. So black ink is only used when you get an official summons. So if you're called in for jury service, or you're given an official fine or a warning or whatever by the redcoats, or if you're any communication between government agencies like the Blackcoats and the Inquisition or whatever, they're always in black. And this is one such telegram. It is in black letters. You're all able to read? I'm just going to say that because we wouldn't be going anywhere otherwise.
It would make more sense for me to not be able to read, actually.
Then we'll go with that. Dennis cannot read. So Dennis is standing behind you, looking at this paper, and he's looking at you, Sangan, like, "Are you gonna, read it?" sort of a thing.
Yeah.
So
I think at this point we would have, I would be aware of his inability to read.
Yeah.
Because I imagine we all had orders when we came in, and he had no idea what his said.
Mm-hmm. So, are you going to tear it off?
Out.
Okay, so you're tearing it off and reading it out. So, the Blackcoats have given you the name of Cell 9. You get to give your own cell name. You just need to tell them. You need to write back to them on the telegram. But this is the... I can read it out if you wish. But this is the orders that you've been given. All right, so... good evening, Cell 9. We have lost contact with Saber 6. They chose the name. Who were a wetwork team working on retrieving a black box belonging to one Derek Gray. Gray has been in the Driftwood for 6 years, officially, on Dominion business, but since returning he has yet to check in with any of his superiors at high command, and when our black box retrieval team went dark, I was alerted. And so I'm contacting you as the closest Blackcoats to this man. Find him, dead or alive, it doesn't matter. More importantly, find his black box unit. I have no idea what he was sent to retrieve, but the Chamber Diabolus needs someone on the scene ASAP. Since we don't know what we are dealing with, you are the closest team with the widest array of talents. No one on site is to know who or what you are. Keep the black off your backs. Get in, get out quietly, and with a minimum of fuss. Rendezvous with the black site at the black site on Larkham Street, directions attached, when the box is secured. And he's put a typo in there, so obviously he was in a bit of a hurry when he wrote this. Gray was last seen at his apartment on Fade Hill Grove 2 nights ago. Our field operative, Ellis Bowerton, is at the Fox and Hound pub, directions attached, and is the only member of Saber 6 we have been able to locate. We told him to stay put, paid his tab, and to wait for you. Good luck. J. Brenning, equerry to the Lord Marshal, Chamber Diabolus.
I'm gonna, I'm assuming when we get orders like this, it's a leave now.
It is a leave as soon as you are personally able, yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to take some sort of just random stick and knock on the roof to the 3rd floor. So I don't want to test any more ladders.
All right, I'm gonna do a quick roll here. Can somebody remind me how to roll in this? It's
exclamation point roll and then space and then however many d6.
Okay. 5d6. Boom. Okay, so Filberto, you're pouring a bit of tincture into a vial, and the knock from below knocks the desk, and a bit of the acid pours out and melts straight through the desk.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna call up and say, we have orders.
All right.
So as you look up, Sangun, you can see like a bit of green just seeping through, burning through the floor.
And I move immediately out of the way.
Yeah. It's gonna hit the telegram machine.
I will move the telegram machine.
Okay, so yeah, it starts eating through the desk of the telegram machine and stops.
Bring some of that burning stuff when you're coming down.
I'm gonna move the desk away from whatever section he seems to be working above.
Okay, he's gonna pull it aside.
Yeah, so that the next time he's not pouring acid directly above the telegram machine.
Yeah, that's probably a good call. Alrighty, so Filberto, are you going to make your way onto the second floor, or are you all going down onto the lower floor, or what are you doing?
I'll climb down to the telegram.
Sweet.
The second floor.
There's only one way in or out.
I'd ask him to bring some of the poison stuff because it seems useful when it burns through floors, whatever it was.
Yeah, that acid. It's probably all been spilt all over the floor.
Only a little bit. You got a few vials of it. You were decanting it as soon as you were decanting out the last vial that nearly went everywhere.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so you can bring that if you want to.
Sure.
And what kind of, just before we head out to the mission, what kind of ammo are you bringing tonight, Filberto?
I'll bring the. Let me see. I was going to bring the sleep dart.
Mm-hmm.
The toxin. I was making acid darts.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be the main thing that I take with sleep, toxin, acid, and obviously standard.
Alrighty. And everyone else is geared, ready to go. Are you gonna, Sangun? Are you gonna share in the news with Filberto? Are you gonna?
I would, are your hands full as you're coming down, or you know? Because I'll probably hand you the orders, because you can read.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll read that.
Yeah, I'd probably hand you the orders so I can start gearing up.
Alrighty.
Okay.
So just as an aside, just to hammer in the details, you guys are looking for a black box belonging to Derek Gray, who was sent into the Driftwood for over 6 years ago. No one knows what he was looking for. Apparently, it was above the pay grade of whoever has been asking at the Blackcoats. But he was sent in. He's recently returned from the Driftwood, and the black box that he brought back has now gone missing, or the retrieval team that went to pick it up went dark. So the Blackcoats are now
bad juju.
Yeah, the Blackcoats are now suitably kind of worried that whatever was in this has not been a good thing, or to be fair, the group could have just got pissed and gone on a night out with the black box and just it's happened before, so But your mission is to find him dead or alive, but find his black box unit and secure whatever is inside. Okay, and you're also looking for a man called Ellis Bowerton, who was the last man to see him, and he's in the Fox and Hound pub. He was part of the team that has gone dark, but he's the only one to have resurfaced so far. So if we look at the city map, so the Black Hound pub on your little island there, if you cross the bridge, the Black Hound pub is one of the buildings just inside there, one of the small square buildings just inside there.
So just around the corner, really.
Yeah. This is more for a reference. This map, I'm actually making one as we speak, but it's going to be very similar in terms of its shape and in terms of its layout. So yeah, this is good to get your bearings right now. So. And the pub's there. The apartment is more into this district. It's more into the district that you're going into right now. Right. So this is called the Old Anvain Port District. It's the Old Anvain Port District. And yeah, so he's further in. So the guys. So Derek Gray's apartments are further in to the district. But you can start wherever you like.
I mean, Sangern would pretty much follow the orders to the letter and head there, unless you guys had. So since it's a staying quiet mission,
Mm-hmm.
he's definitely gonna ask them what they think, because quiet is not his specialty.
Yeah.
Say we case the joint before we go in, before we go chat to our contact. Case his apartment. See if there's anything particularly off.
Dennis?
So Dennis, I would say this is kind of your forte. Staying quiet.
Maybe staying quiet, not really, but maybe I can ask one of my little birds if I can get a description of the guy. So maybe it could be good to go to the bar, look through a window how he looks, and then I can ask where he has been throughout the town throughout the last few days.
Oh, good idea. Right, okay. Do me a
So,
favour. Let's roll for that, if you would like to do that. Unless Sangern
We haven't
was...
really discussed our like vices or anything, right?
No.
So the little birds thing is a little confusing to Sangard, but he's just gonna go with it.
For an actual bird's going to come down and be like,
Weird
so
shit happens.
let's roll on your presence, but since this is your network, I'm going to give you an extra 5 dice. So add 5 dice to your presence whenever you're calling on your little birds, whenever you're calling on your orphan information network.
Sorry.
Yeah. I know.
Sounds like Game of Thrones, oddly enough.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay, that's a lot of successes. So, you stride out into the rain, and please stop me. I'm doing a cinematic right now, but please stop me if there's something your character wouldn't do. I also want to say you do a little whistle, and a kid immediately runs up to you from the shadows. This is a kid with scabby knees, but he's munching on a piece of stale bread, and he runs over to you. He looks about 8 or 9 years of age, and he looks up at you as he's eating, but very intently. You can see there's in fact, everyone else roll a witch check. Everyone else roll a witch check, but not Dennis. I'll tell you, if your rolls stay like that, guys, you're going to be... Whoa, shit! Okay, and this is the...
Don't worry, I'm gonna ruin it.
Okay, all right. So Sangern faints. No, I'm joking. Filberto, you can see this kid is very, very, very mentally sharp. Like he's acting like he's a snot-nosed little brat who's munching on this bread, but he's actually very, very, very mentally all there, and he's awaiting attentively what Dennis is about to say. Dennis, take it away. What do you say to the kid?
Okay. I would pick him up, so he can see through the window. That guy over there. You probably already know the description. Have you seen him around town? Have the other birds described someone similar?
Oh, on the message? Okay, so I'm going to do a check for him. I'm just going to see if he can...
I think you've taken him to the bar so we can look through the window and see him. Is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to have a little... Alright, so he looks through the glass of the bar, and I'll describe the bar in a second. Well, actually, I'll do it now. So the bar is a typical old English style corner bar. It's painted in dark red, and you can hear it's actually quite quiet in there for a Saturday night. You would think it'd be a lot busier, but the rain has kept most people indoors. No one wants to be caught outside in it, and so there's about 10 or 11 patrons in there. And as the kid looks through, he turns to you, Dennis, and says, "Who am I looking for? Do you have a description?"
Do we have a description?
I'm going to say I didn't put it in the message, but yeah, let's say there is one in there. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, then I of course give it to him.
Okay, so he nods and looks into the room. Goes, Mr. Bowerton. Yeah, he gives good tips for his shoe shining. Good tips.
Bowerton, eh?
He nods and goes, Ellis, yeah. He's all right. All right, so he's been gone for a couple of weeks, and he came back in a few days ago. Looked a bit withdrawn. It didn't look like he wanted to talk. And when Lisa went over to him to try and shine his shoes, he just walked past her and sprayed mud in her face by accident. But I'm sure he had other things on his mind, you know.
Did he ever have any friends with him?
No, just on his own. Like he's been since he's got back. He's only been on his own. I've not seen any of his friends.
So he had some before.
Yeah. Before he left, he was here quite a while. Yeah. He was in there. He would always order the same rum. Port rum, all the way from Kernel normally, if I remember correctly.
Okay, that's pretty useful. If I have any money on him, I'd give it to the kid and he can go off.
Cool. So you give him like a shilling or something.
Yeah, something like that.
He goes, "Wow, a whole shilling! Looks like I'm the big winner around here today," and like just walks off.
And I'm just going to silently chuckle.
I'm starting to figure out the birds thing, and it's making Sangren a little concerned. But he's just gonna move along.
You guys are soaking by this point, by the way. You've been in.
I'm definitely gonna have to be wearing my hat. So
Yeah.
At least not
Yeah. Dennis is just like literally soaking, like they're just nearly swimming at the moment.
Yeah.
So what are you guys gonna do?
I'd still say we case out his house. Do we know where Gray's house was?
Yes, Gray's house is a few blocks down from where you are now. So you've walked across the bridge, the Black Bridge, which is connecting your little island home to the rest of the city. And yes, you can see you're at the Fox and Hounds now, and a few blocks down is where the apartments are, in which Derek Gray is staying at the moment.
That's fair enough. I'd say we just do a quick walk past, case the joint.
Just so you know, David, I've muted you for a second because I could hear a phone call in the background. I don't want it to be streamed. So give me type in the chat when you're safe. So say that again, Filberto. I didn't hear that before. What did you say?
I would like to just do a quick walk past, case the area sort of thing. Just basically look like I've just walked past it as if I'm on a walk through the city or something like that.
Excellent. So are you going to tell the other two that you're going to do that and they should meet you back here, or do you want them to go with you?
I'd say they should go with. They'll be probably better at spotting things than I would. I might stand out like a sore thumb.
Okay, cool, awesome. So, are you guys amenable to that, or does one of you want to head into the into the pub just to case the joint out?
Splitting in three might be a good idea to do things quickly in some way.
I mean, you're not expecting trouble at this point, I guess.
Yeah, I'd ask the others if maybe I should go to the bar already.
So, I would probably suggest to Dennis that if he wants to kind of blend into the background of the bar, and I would go and talk to him directly. So if something comes up, he could back me up. But I figured, the faster we get information, the sooner we can get on the trail of this box.
Yeah, just buy him that porch rum from me. Might be interesting result.
Okay. So, Filberto, you got your. I think what's been decided, if I understand correctly, is that Sangern, you're wanting to walk into the pub and talk, and at least look at this guy while you're having a drink or something.
Yeah.
Whilst the other two go off and scope this other place. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, if you guys are going to go scope it out, I mean, sleuthing is not my specialty. So I think at least keep an eye on him, make sure he's staying put. And if he does move, we need to know where he's going.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, good. I will Filberto then.
Alrighty. So Filberto and Dennis give a slight nod to you, and then they head off a few streets up to go and case out this other joint, go and case out this apartment complex. Sangan, are you taking off your hat as you walk in?
I mean, it would be rude not to.
All right. So you take off your hat and you knock the rainwater off of it, and you stride in. You see it smells of wood smoke from the fire, but also a chaga smoke, which is a really strong tobacco. That's normally only found in the far southern islands. There's just chaga smoke that is being smoked near. It's pretty common. You've had it before. It's a mild hallucinogen. It's nothing much. And as you walk in, you can see Ellis sitting, or the man who the kid pointed out as Ellis, sitting at the far end of the room. And the entire place is, I would say, dingy, not well lit, and the bartender is standing behind the actual bar, doing clearing a glass. And you see one barmaid just striding around, not really doing very much, just chilling out.
Is there like a spot in the corner that I could, that is relatively the kind of the stereotypical, corner booth that I can sit in and just be in the dark and just keep an eye on things?
Yep, you're going to do a strider. That's fine.
Yeah.
So did you get a pipe out or anything? Do you own anything like that you could just chill out and...
No, I think I would probably just order just a standard beer or something.
All right, so
pretend to drink it.
The barmaid comes over to you and says, you can tell that she is avoiding the table that Ellis is sitting at. In fact, she skirts around him to come to you, and she says, "Hi, what can I get you?"
What's your house here?
Well, we have the bog standard pale ale. That's one that we've got in from Duskfall only a couple of days ago. Aside from that, you got all types of whiskies. We got rum, and lots of rum. Actually, we're not selling enough of that. Only, and she looks over with mild distaste at where Ellis is sitting. Only he tends to drink that.
Well, I'm not. He's definitely not good at it, but he's going to try to be a little nice and say, "Oh, get whichever rum you recommend. I suppose I can help you guys out."
Okay, so she walks over and procures a rum and brings it back, and she says, "That'll be 2 shillings."
I'll put. I assume there's pence, right?
Yeah.
So I guess like a half shilling in pence, just to, as like a tip.
Okay. She winks and puts it in a bust area.
Yeah. And then I'll let her be for a second and just sip and we'll pretend to sip and keep an eye out on things.
Are you looking around the bar?
Yeah, surreptitiously, so I don't want to make it obvious that I'm
Ellis is not there anymore.
That was quick. Just take a look around, see where he's gone.
Okay, so you just crane your neck around, and you can't see him anywhere. Like he's not anywhere near you. You can't actually.
So I haven't noticed anyone coming in or leaving at that time, right?
No. The only thing you can assuade is that when you were talking to this lovely lady, he must have disappeared at that time. You must have literally taken your eyes off of him for, say, 5 seconds.
So he was waiting.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, that's what I'm going to assume, that he probably recognized me and was waiting. So I'm going to take a look out the window and see if I can see him like heading off somewhere.
Okay. Do a wits roll for me.
Oh, wits are going to kill me.
If only you could beat perception into submission.
All right.
Okay, so no, you look out into the storm and you see nothing but swirling rain, and you can see Dennis and Filberto returning from their sojourn, and on that we'll switch over to the other two. We'll go back in time, right back in time to Dennis and Filberto. Filberto, you're noticing a lot of the street urchins are giving Dennis the slightest of nods, like the immediate slightest of nods. If you see a bunch of teenagers talking on the street, they will go quiet when Dennis walks past.
Would not be that many of them. I'd say the orphanage at most is like 20, 30 people.
But also, the orphanage is in this area. So this is where...
Okay, then maybe.
Yeah, this is where they're all going to hang out. This is how I thought... I could be wrong, but this is where they're all going to be, messing around and playing on the street and stuff. I'm assuming when you head further into New Corinth, this will go away. But this is your house. Like, this is where you guys live. This is your turf. So, yeah. The apartment buildings that you're looking for are known as... this is New Fair Street. So New Fair Street is actually a very nice area for this area of New Corinth. For Old Anvain, it's a very nice area. And it's... What you're looking at now is it's almost like a grand city Georgian state house made of stone, right in the slap bang middle of a load of hodgepodge buildings. And there are lights coming from within. Seems quite welcoming, seems quite open. People coming and going. It looks like a hotel, actually. It doesn't actually look like an apartment block. It looks more like a hotel.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm here.
you just went quiet.
No,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Well, time to head in then. Like,
Yeah, I
do
was
we have
gonna
a key or can we lockpick or something?
I was going to say, don't bother making... I was just going to say, walk past, check for exits, check for entry, exit.
Mhm.
Don't. If anyone's watching that building, you don't want to be seen interfering with it. You just want to seem like a general member of the public, just walking past. Well, at least that's what I want to do.
Alrighty.
And I'll use my magnifying glasses to try to zoom in.
Okay, cool. So,
Yeah, I'd go along with it.
excellent. So, just 1 second. Right. Okay, so the place is very welcoming. It's a hotel. It looks very much like a hotel as you're walking around it. There's no one stopping your entry. There's a guard on the door, but he's sort of like a... Have you ever been to London where you see the guards like wearing like all red, uniforms and stuff? He's not wearing that because the red coats are the official police, but it's sort of like a ceremonial suit. And he's hello as people come in. He's yes, hello, yes, as people are going in the doors.
Fair enough. Any back exits or stuff like that?
Yeah, you know, if you walk around the back, you do notice there is a garden there, and there is a back exit, and the back door actually is swinging on its hinges. It's open to the elements.
Interesting. I might just pop my head round.
Okay, so you're going to go into the garden and just have a little look
Yeah.
around. Okay. Do a skullduggery roll for me.
All right.
I mean, Dennis, you see him doing this. Are you going to try and stop him, or are you going to... What are you trying to do?
Honestly, I'd probably join him.
Okay.
It's more like he follows him because what is he else supposed to do?
Okay, so do a skullduggery roll for me as you're walking through. You don't want to be seen. Okay. Bloody hell, Dennis is rolling well tonight. So, Dennis, you get to the doorway and you look inside, but from behind you, you hear "Oi!" and you turn around and you see Filberto's he's been pointed at by a gardener who's raking leaves around a bush. What the bloody hell are you doing? And he hasn't seen you yet, Dennis. So you could even slip inside if you wanted to. Wanted to leave him there.
I slip inside. I give him like a salute. Thank you for your sacrifice, and go in.
Yeah. So you're away. You're away. Filberto, you're not accustomed to human contact at the best of times, and now this man's wagging his finger. Then he looks like he's in his middle ages, you know. But this is his job, and this is his pride and glory. Then you know you're not supposed to be rolling around private property. You can't just cut across here to get to whatever fucking bar you want to go to. You little shit.
I'm gonna act like I have the mental age of a child and just be like, "Oh, sorry, sir."
Come fuck off. Clear off. Clear off. Go on.
Okay.
So you
I'll just saunter off, you know, like a
yeah.
walk back and get walked back by the gardener.
He just shakes his head as you go and goes, "Fucking degenerates," and carries on. And he goes, "Who left the fucking door open?" And goes and closes and locks the door. So, Dennis, you're inside and you hear the door close behind you and it's locked. And so now you're in a corridor that looks like one of the corridors on the Titanic. So it looks like it's very nicely carpeted. It's got electric lights on the side of it, you know, garish wallpaper, and there are room numbers all the way along. And there is the main receptionist straight in front of you. And you're thinking, like, people would think that, you know, you probably shouldn't be here, but you're not like wearing rags. You're not like, you know, you're wearing boots and a coat for the rain. You know what I mean? You're not just, you know, walking around. So you could probably walk around and be fine. People just like, assume you're a guest or something, you know.
Yeah, I guess that's the plan. Do I know which room or apartment belongs to our guy, the Ellis Bowerton guy?
Who has the telegram? It's Sangern, isn't it? He has the telegram. So if you can
Pass it over to Fibier.
Yeah, I'm carrying the telegram.
Okay, so Filberto's got it. Okay, so no, you don't know what room it is at the moment. You probably have to go and talk to somebody official.
So I'd go up to the reception and
she's dealing with a customer in front of you. He goes, yes, we'll have a bottle of our finest Chardonnay. Get sent up to you within a few moments, and then bye, and then as you step up, she goes, oh.
So I'm come to visit my uncle Ellis Bowerton. Could you give me a bottle of port rum for the go?
She just looks at you and goes, right, and she looks underneath the table and brings up a rather big ledger, puts it on the desk, opens it, runs a finger down, goes, what was the name you said? Ellis
Bowerton?
Bowerton, yes. And she runs her finger down and goes, Ellis, Bowerton. He checked out yesterday. Well, this morning. Checked out this morning.
What a scoundrel. Do you know where he went?
I do not know. For all I know, he went to... I think he frequents the Fox and Hounds pub.
I've looked for him already there. Is there anything else?
Rewind. We made a boo-boo. You're not looking for Ellis here, you're looking for Derek Gray.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, yeah, but that's the name he gave to the urchins. So I assume that's the name he uses with civilians.
Right, okay. So Ellis Gray has been found. Now, you guys know, for all you guys know, Dennis and Filberto, he's still in the pub. Yeah. So on the telegram, it said that Derek Gray is the one who's living here in this hotel.
Yeah.
We can rewind that scene. So you're doing the same thing, but with Derek Gray as your uncle instead.
I'll probably check both names honestly because I don't know which one he.
That's completely fine. Yeah. So he says, she says, yes, Derek Gray checked out this morning, and yeah, left a rather nice tip, and yes. So I'm afraid I don't know where he is.
Oh, well, thank you for the information. I'll see my leave then, and I'll try to leave through the front door.
Yeah, they let you leave. They don't want you there. So like they open the door for you and they're like, off you go. Yes, goodbye. You know. And if you turn around and look, you've left like a big stain on their floor where all the rainwater's dripped off of you because you haven't bothered to get it all off, and you just walk out into the night. As you walk out, you see Filberto thoroughly chastised, walking with his hands in his pockets and muttering to himself about how he never had to deal with this in the academy.
No, I'll be still playing up the I'm an idiot act.
Well, he's not in your line of sight now. Like he's way around the corner. Yeah.
Okay, so I'd apologize for leaving him and would point out that that I did not find anything useful. That he already checked out of the hotel. There was no room to check.
Interesting. Both. Did you ask for both Ellis and Derek?
Yeah, mentioned Derek first. They caught on to that.
Interesting.
Are you guys gonna head back to the?
Yeah, we'll go back to the pub.
All right. So we our timelines converge. Like it's a Marvel movie.
Yeah, I think if I don't see him out the window, I'd go up to the barmaid and say, "Did you see where he went?" Or just like, not trying to be friendly anymore. It's like very much giant person walks up. Did you see where he went? And point where Ellis was.
And she looks with distaste at the table and goes, "Oh, him? No, I'll be honest with you. If you've come to get rid of him, thank you, because he creeps me the fuck out. Like he used to be such a nice guy, but no, I don't know who he is."
Are there any other patrons in the bar?
Yeah, there's a few.
Okay, I think it's time to make a statement. Just kind of look around, just one last time, if anyone's kind of like the kind of people who are like looking around and keeping an eye on people, and just come up to one of them and say, "Where did he go?" and just kind of be big and threatening looking.
And you're gonna point over to the table.
Yep.
Okay, so the first man you approach, he's sitting there with a friend of his, just drinking some ale, and he goes, "What?"
I think at this point I'm being loud. Not like I'm walking up to someone, but I'm going to be loud enough that everybody hears me.
Okay, so you're like saying, "Where did this man go?" Basically.
Yeah.
So when you raise your voice, there's silence, and the bartender says, "If I could have a word."
I'm going to just turn towards him.
No, he beckons you over to him. He wants you to come over to him.
Then I'll come over, but I'm still like looking around.
So he says, "Listen, I don't know what he's done. All right, he has a room here, right? But I can't just go giving keys out. Do you see what I mean?"
Tell me the room. He should be expecting us.
And then he looks over to the barmaid who, and by the way, Filberto and Dennis are now back in, and they see you talking to the bartender. It's very quiet in here now, guys. Much quieter than when you left last time.
Yeah.
Because this rather large man with a very unhealthy pallor has taken control of the room.
Yeah, and I'll just be like, "What the fuck?"
So the barmaid comes over and says, "Look, if we give you the key, business as bad as it is, like they're just going to, people are just going to leave us. They think there's going to be no privacy. Who even are you? Like we don't even know who you are."
I'm not asking for the key. Tell me the room, and if he's there, then I'll talk with him. If not, then we'll be leaving.
She just like shrugs and is just like, "Look, it creeps me out more than anyone. Look, every single time he looks at me like he wants to just, well," and she just sort of looks away and like blushes a little bit and says, "Look."
Should I interrupt if I'm there already?
Yeah, you're there.
The situation is pretty awkward. Yeah, I think we're looking for the same guy. If you can't lead us to the room, why not call him over? You know, I'm his nephew. I have some of his favorite rum with me. He should come out. And if he doesn't, then we'll continue further. But you can just call him, right?
So she says, so you want me to go up to his room and try and get him down here?
Not get him. Just ask
All right,
nicely.
I'll ask. No problem. I'll ask. And she disappears. And the bartender turns back to you and says, listen, I don't want her up there alone with him. Here's the key. Just go and search his room, all right?
I take it and I nod to him and head up.
Okay. So you guys going to follow?
Yeah, I'll follow it.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, the Sangard is not subtle.
Yeah.
I should probably stay downstairs in case some sort of police is called. I mean, the redcoats. I'll stay downstairs and keep watch.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So as you go upstairs, you're looking for room 17. That's what the key says. You find the barmaid heading up the stairs, and he turns around and goes, "Listen, we told you to wait downstairs. Like, do you not?"
I'm just gonna waggle, like, hold the key up.
She goes, "Oh, you didn't hurt him, did
He's
you?"
concerned. I'm gonna say he's concerned about your safety.
She goes, "Oh," and like understanding dawns on her face, and some relief, and she says, "Oh, well, in that case, I don't know who you are, but look, just he was a good sort, right? Just when he came back, just take care of him, all right? Just take care of him." And she puts an arm on a hand on your shoulder, and then moves downstairs.
So I'm gonna go up to the room, and I'm gonna put in, just kind of listen, just kind of if there's any like sound like he's like, hustling and trying to get all his shit together. And then I'll, probably, if I don't hear anything immediate, I'll probably open the door, but not be in the doorway when it opens.
Okay, so you're gonna knock on the door first, yeah?
I'm not gonna knock. I'm just gonna listen.
Okay.
If he's,
Okay. So you don't hear anything from the other side of the door. You can hear like music from like a music box in different rooms, but not in this one.
Okay. So what I do is like open the door with the key, but like open it while I'm stood to the side of the door, so in case he does have it, if someone is in there with a gun, I don't open the door and get blasted.
Are you two guys standing around him? Where are you positioning yourselves, Roberto and Dennis? Oh, Dennis is downstairs.
Stay downstairs in case, the redcoats show up.
So Dennis, you see the barmaid come down, and she blows out her cheeks like that was a close one, and then pours herself a drink, and she calls you over and says, "Listen, can I get you a drink on the house?"
Nah, I'll pay.
Oh, okay. And she pours you like the cheapest rum they've got and gives it to you.
Yeah, I pay her whatever is required, no tip, and drink it slowly.
Okay. So, back upstairs. Filberto, are you standing on are you following...
I'll stand next to us again.
Yes, you're following his lead. Okay. Yeah. So, you open the door, and the first thing that greets you, because you're standing in a nice, warm tavern, is the coldness. There is a huge rush of cold air that buffets you both, and waggles your coattails around, and it smells like stale sweat, and just musky. Like the room's been really on its own for a while, or someone's been in there with heightened exertion for a long time and then just like slept there for days. But weirdly, on the opposite side of the room, the window is open, and there are the wind is blowing in and is blowing the curtains around to the night, so it's open to the night. So it shouldn't really smell this way, and it shouldn't feel muggy, but it does. And when you look in, the room is in complete disarray. There is writing on the walls in red. You don't know what it is, but there's writing on the walls. There's splatters all over the floor. There are pieces of parchment and paper and books that have been rifled around. There are bits of clothing There's a table with lots of papers on top of it, and the bed is a complete shit show. It is just a mess. It's just a mess, a tangled mess.
Does it look like the room's been tossed?
No.
Or just, crazy?
It looks like it's been lived in by some sort of outrageously crazy person.
Is it colder? Is it colder in the room than it is outside?
Oh yeah. Do you mean outside, as in the hallway, or outside as in outside?
No, outside the building.
It's colder inside than it is outside. It's colder in here than it is outside the building. Are you going to stick your hand out into the rain? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Just to feel.
Well,
yeah.
would have been out about a minute or two beforehand. So
yeah.
I would know how cold it is outside.
So yeah, it's much colder in here than it is outside.
Okay, I'm gonna pick up. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna walk up to the. Well, firstly, would I could probably see if I could guess if it's a magic. If it's a magical effect.
Yep, sure. Roll on your wits. Lovely.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna say you pretty much can sense that there's not much magical going on here, but there's something very primal going on here.
Primal?
Yeah, like emotional. You can sense strong emotions in here. If you want to do another check, you can try and...
I was going to start searching the room.
All right.
For clues.
Alrighty, where are you going to start?
Whichever looks the least, tossed. Whichever side of the room looks like drawers and cabinets that aren't already open.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So drawers and cabinets, most of them are just filled with junk, nuts and bolts, and you can tell this person was into constructing their own ammunition or whatever. They were an agent of the Blackcoats, why wouldn't they? So they're not full Blackcoats, these are just like, agents, basically, listeners. Are you gonna look around on the floor, just see what's there, or you need to direct me a little bit?
Books.
Okay,
so see if there were any books. And
alrighty.
See the titles.
So please do a perception plus wits. Add them together and roll them.
Perception.
One's perception. Nothing goes.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Wits and presence. Sorry. Yeah. Wits and presence. I keep. Okay. So, you pick up the nearest book and you get rid of the dust, and it isn't a book on erotica. It is an erotic book. As you flick through it, it has all sorts of sexual positions and things like that. On a few of the pages, you can see blood has been splattered there, and a few of the pages are stuck together and not with blood, as you can see. And as you flick through it, still, and you sort of like hang the book, and you can see that most of the pages are stuck together with blood or some other substance. And you just put it back down again. And if you check again on the floor, it's all erotica, but it seems to be very violent stuff. It seems to be very descriptive. And Sangan, the one you pick up a few, and there's even case studies of Blackcoat cases that have been like sexual crimes and stuff, and they are also covered with blood and another substance that you can see lying around. You just okay, cool.
I don't think I'm touching any of the books.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say, looks like somebody was having some fun here.
Mm-hmm.
This is, from, we don't know much about it, but from what the barmaid was telling me earlier, I feel, does any of this erotica stuff look like it's been here for more than, longer, because he's been here for a while, right?
Yeah, he's been back for a few days. Yes, the stuff looks like it's been here for a few days, essentially.
But was he? From the information we have, did we know if he was here before that? If he had stayed here at this bar before that?
From what she said to you before, he came back, so he has stayed here before that. But they do clean the rooms, so it's not so this you would think this is a recent development, if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, because something's changed in him, and I'm figuring this is all like hints to that. Just because the barmaid has him concerned that something's gone really weird.
So downstairs, Dennis, you can tell like the barmaid is clearly shaken by even having to confront what's going on at the moment. Don't know if you want to talk to her, or you just want to drink your drink in silence, whatever you want to do. It's giving you the opportunity to do something if you want to do it.
Mm.
You don't have to.
I'm actually thinking, because I'm split. On one hand, he probably would talk if he thinks he can get something out of her.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other, he kinda doesn't. He probably would just sit back and have his drink, maybe walk around the bar for a little bit, check what people are doing.
So as you're doing that, the innkeeper makes his way over to you, and he says, "So, who are you with then? If you're looking into old Ellis, if you don't mind me asking."
As I said, I'm his nephew. He has disappeared with some money of my mother, and the guys up there, they're private investigators I've hired. I would not pry into it too much.
He nods and says, "Oh, isn't it the way with families, eh? Oh, dear me. Right. Oh, sorry about that. Well, I hope you get your money back."
Well, I certainly do too. It would be good to fix relations with my uncle as well.
I'm sure. So, back upstairs. There are bits of clothing and coats and things strewn around. There are letters, but they're mostly overdue rent letters. There's nothing really looking like it's there. There is also a banning order from several pubs for lewd behaviour over the past couple of days.
Now, interestingly enough, where are the rent from? The bills. Where are the bills from?
This place.
Because the Blackcoats
Oh,
are
okay,
paying
specifically
this one,
this
right?
Okay.
Okay.
They've been giving him the money to pay for it, but whether he has been or not is another thing entirely.
I
Yeah.
see. Is there any... the writing... I'm going to inspect the writing on the wall.
Okay. You can see that this is... Do a witch check for me. Do a witch check.
Yeah.
And this is linguistic, so add a +3 to it. So an extra 3 rolls.
76.
Yeah, just roll another 3. You'll be fine. Alrighty. So you can see that this isn't an old dialect that is from the Driftwood. Okay, so it's like an old hippie dialect, and it essentially reads, "I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. Don't take me back. Don't take me back. Don't take me back. Don't take me back." And then the last one is, "Don't leave me here."
Don't want to go back. Interesting. Don't go back. Go back where? I'll relay this to Sanguin.
To the woods, or to the coats. We need to find this guy.
Yeah, or maybe wherever this black box is.
I'm gonna just take a quick peek out the window, see if there's anything that noticeable that you can see from where we're at.
No, you can't hear anything. You can't see anything noticeable, but you do hear, in the distance, a sort of guttural howling a few blocks away, and it stops.
Are there any scratch marks
On the windowsill? No.
in the room?
No.
I mean, is that howling like?
When I say howling, I don't mean werewolf howls. I mean guttural, primal, human.
Okay, so I mean, from the way he's been acting, I think that feels like it would be our best bet. I'm just going to turn to Filberto. You heard that?
Yeah, I heard that.
The only things you haven't checked, before it'd be remiss of me not to describe it, are the clothes, the jackets, and the bed. They're the only things you haven't.
I mean, I'd probably, just a quick look at the bed, but mostly check under the bed because I don't sure I want to touch anything on the surface of that bed.
Yep, under the bed. There's nothing under the bed. Is anyone checking clothes or are we?
If there's a jacket or something, I'm going to rifle through the pockets.
Alrighty.
Jacket pockets, pockets.
In one of the pockets, you find a card, and it is addressed to Madame Cerise's Adult Emporium on 19 Fleet Street. And on the back it says, "Thank you so much for your business. This will keep us going for the rest of the month."
I assume that that's a fairly new card.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I mean, I'll quickly check through the rest of his clothes. Just like the 2-finger touch.
So, Sangun, can you roll a witch check? But since you are quite perceptive, I will go ahead and add another four dice to it because you're only checking under the bed. Basically, It's not hard to find things under there. Let's be honest. All right, that's fine. So, you do find a bag underneath there. It is. Well, on your first scan, you couldn't see it, but then when you scan again, it's up near the headboard of the bed. Underneath.
Okay. I probably just toss the mattress aside and grab it. Take
Okay.
a look inside.
And when you look inside, how do I put this? There are several pieces of erotic paraphernalia in there that you would use upon your person.
Interesting.
Most of them are covered in blood, and there is a stench in here, like a an overripe stench.
Yeah. So I mean, I would probably plug my nose and then, or just kind of turn away and dump it out just to make sure there's nothing else in there. And then probably if there's a place to wash my hands in this apartment, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, there's running water.
Yeah.
And I'll just laugh at your reaction.
You do notice the bag is also from Madame Cerise's Adult Emporium.
Yeah. Yeah. I will go. The man has expensive taste.
I think that's a good place to start as any.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So you guys gonna clear out the room?
Yeah.
All right. When you head back downstairs, you see as Sigun's drying his hands on his shirt, oh god. You walk in and Dennis, you look up and you see your two compatriots are ashen faced as they come downstairs a little bit. And they have a similar look on their faces to the barmaid when she came downstairs.
Oh, did you find the guy?
We have a lead.
No.
I would say we have a lead. But I would say it quietly to just him.
Yeah. Yeah, I would quietly add. I think it's time to report to the superiors that he bailed on us.
Let's see if I'm gonna kind of bring them in so we can talk quietly. So I think let's see if this lead pans out before we call in anything, because I think judging from what we saw up there, it's pretty decent chance he's headed that way.
He might have just gone out on the town or something. This is what I'll say loud enough for the barkeep to hear. He might have just left to go out on the town.
Well, let's go then. Let's go look for my uncle, and I wink so they know that. Yep, keep pretending he's my uncle.
I'm gonna roll a perception check for the barmaid. Sorry, a witch check for the barmaid. Yeah, she knew, she kind of knew already, but she also knows now that that's not your uncle. But she's not gonna say anything.
I'm gonna turn towards the bartender and the barmaid and hand back the key, and it's and chances are he won't be back, but I'm gonna turn towards the barmaid specifically. I wouldn't be the one to go in there if I were you. And
she says he hasn't killed anyone, has he?
I just kind of for Sir Sanger, and killing people is a lot more comfortable than what he just experienced. It's oh no, nothing that plain.
No.
Oh, good.
And then just turn around and leave.
Okay. So you can leave them. So what we'll do, we'll take a quick 7-minute break, so you guys can go get a drink and chill out, and we'll be back with some more Blackcoats in 5 to 7 minutes.
Cheers.
Alrighty. Right, I'm back. And I'm back.
Welcome back.
So am I.
Thank you. Alrighty, so, is everyone returned? Are we all...
Yep.
Alright, brilliant. So, let us... You have now left, and you're heading towards what I can only describe as steampunk and summers. Would be a good way of looking at it. So as you head deeper into the city, there is a bit of nightlife around, but you can see people are heading in one direction. It seems to be towards the island where your home is. There are only a few things on your island home. There is of course the old library. There is the Grand Embankment Theatre. There are a few guild halls of less importance, guilds, and there are warehouses and things. So there might be like some sort of street festival going on or whatever. But people are heading in that general direction, and they're being ushered on by redcoats. Just off you go. Yes, no problem. And then as you get towards the building, you can see brusque red light billows out onto the street from this building, and it is a 2-story building with another attic above that. That seems to be quite raucous. There are quite a few people in there chilling out, hanging around. There's a few patrons inside. There's a few talking to whores outside, just having a wonderful old time in the new Corinth night. And yeah, you guys approach. You are across the street. What are you going to do?
Do any of the horse look particularly bloodied, or I guess
roll a witch check, and go ahead and
use the wound sensing thing for this.
yeah. Ooh, good idea. So explain what that does, and then do it.
Basically I can detect if people are wounded.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I get any bonuses for it, just normal roll then.
Well, because you're thirsty for blood.
Yep. Essentially.
No, it's more so a compensation for my bad eyesight, like a 6th sense.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. So, describe what happens when you attempt to rouse the blood to sniff out this wound.
It's like my sense of smell expands and it like shows me
Mm-hmm.
the blood veins
Mm-hmm.
of people, and when they are wounded it like changes color, so it's like blackened or yellowish, basically not how blood should be.
Okay. So Silberto and Sangern, you're very familiar with this as you look over, and you can tell what he's doing. You can even sense it in the air what he's doing. He calms. He goes very still and breathes in very, very slowly, like he's savouring the smell. And you can even see that the blood vessels in his neck and in his face turn greyish black as he's sniffing in. And as he opens his eyes again and breathes out, his eyes are pitch black, but then they come back to like almost like a normal colour. And Dennis, you can sort of feel that there is somebody in there who has the touch of something on them, and a wound as well. Yeah, the touch of something on them. But you can also sense a really bad, dank, dead smell from the building. You don't know, can't pinpoint it just yet. But the weird thing is, that first smell, you smelt the more alive, horrible smell. You can also smell it on Sangern.
Dennis would think for a bit and ask if he has any objects on him which belonged to the guy we're looking for.
Do I? I don't remember picking anything up.
So, as your vampiric intuition, even if you washed your hands, there's going to be something left there that he can smell.
Yeah. So I just kind of like, just like look at my hands like, ugh. No, I'm to touch some of his less than clean possessions.
That means if you think you're picking up the same scent, maybe they're in there.
It's a bit odd because there is one scent which smells like something dead or rotting, and another separate scent which is somewhat tied to Sangern, but that person is also wounded. We have to find that person, I think. It probably should be a prostitute.
Are they close to each other?
They. So Dennis, you get there in the same sort of vicinity in the building, or maybe just outside, but in the building.
They should be close to each other. They're somewhere in the building. Something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would tell them straight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna kind of turn towards him. It's like, I think you might have killed a girl.
Yeah.
And shake my head.
Well, let's go see.
Maybe his tastes got the better of him.
And
All
I
right.
guess we're gonna see about getting inside there.
All right. So, you're let in at the front door. Like they have no problem in letting you in.
There would be no problem with my age.
No. You could be a performer. Okay, this isn't a nice setting. You know, you could be part of an act. So
There's no rules here.
And to be fair, you're not a child. You're in 15, aren't you? Something like that. You're around that age.
17, I think.
Yeah. So no.
Which is pretty much adult in like any kind of
exactly
non-modern setting.
Exactly. So they're like, oh, a young one, but they're thinking, oh, he's going to come here to pop his cherry, basically. And you are a Nightkin, so you're not the worst looking person in the world, right? So you can stride in there. You know, they're not going to pay you much mind. They are. A few of them are looking at Sangun like he's a midday snack. To be honest with you, when you walk in, and you just see Filberto standing next to him, just shaking his head at what he's seeing. Just this makes no empirical sense whatsoever to his sense at this moment in time.
I was going to say, surely I would understand it more than anything.
I'd say, would you not think it's a waste of time though? Like, you know, like
means to an end.
Maybe.
I'd see it as a means to an end.
Maybe.
I'd say this. I'd almost be more familiar with something like.
Probably a lot more familiar with like I've said, Sandgren's grown up inside the Blackcoats. He not spent a lot of time out with, anybody who's not a Blackcoat. So
that's good to
he's
know.
More oblivious.
The more I learn.
He's very much oblivious.
Well, the more I learn. I love it. Okay, good. So you guys head in, and there is a definite ambiance in here that isn't the best. You know, in terms of if none of you are used to this, you know, it is very gratuitous. There are scantily clad women walking around with men on their arms. There's men walking with women on their arms. There's, you know, you can hear the sounds of the trade, shall we say, happening upstairs. And you see there are a few people walking around, and there's a woman standing. There are booths on either side where lap dances appear to be going on, and there is a front, almost like a kiosk at the front, behind which a woman is shaking hands with men who are coming in and says, "Yes, have a good time." Looks like a buxom woman with fiery red hair, wearing a corset, and she just fanning herself with a feather fan. And as she sees you three, she says, "Oh, you look like you've been in the wars."
Yeah, not really. Can I get your cheapest prostitute?
She shrugs and says, he says, I'm quite frankly offended by that, young man. I don't know who taught you manners, but here we don't do cheap. All right, we do life-changing, and that doesn't come cheap.
Okay, so which one changes my life for the lowest price?
So she looks around and says, I think Giselle would be to your taste. And then she looks into a legend. She says, she should be finished cleaning herself up after her last client in, I'd say, 10 minutes. If you'd like to take a seat, she'll be with you momentarily.
I don't mind. There's no need to wait. Can I just go?
Yes, you can walk around as much as you like. I'm Cerise, by the way. It is my establishment that you're coming into and insulting, despite you only being here for 30 seconds. And yes, you can maybe walk around, and if you see anyone who takes your fancy, that's fine. Just one thing. My girls are not slaves. Alright, they service who they wish to service. If they do not want to service you, then they will not service you. If you forget your change, like a lot of sailors tend to do when they get off their fucking ships, you'll have to answer to these fine gentlemen. And you have not seen these guys before, but they step forward out of the shadows. And each of these guys are like a hand taller than Sangun. So these are big, big men. And they're just...
Wasn't one murdered here just now?
What did you say, sorry?
There's a corpse here, isn't it?
You say that to her?
Subtle.
Okay.
Yes.
So she says, I don't think so, young man. And she turns around to Sangun and says, is he all right?
I think he's gotten a bit... The drugs have gone to his head.
Ah, we do have rooms where you can sweat that out, if you'd like to take him to one of the sauna rooms.
Probably would be helpful. I'm assuming
I'm
upstairs.
If I find the corpse, will you pay me? I mean, we don't want them rotting in a nice establishment like you, right?
If you were to find a corpse on my dear establishment, my friend, I will pay you to remove it. Henceforth, yes, most definitely.
Can I smell the direction of the corpse?
You can try and do it again, yeah. No problem.
Okay. So with I would this time use the vampiric skill, so it would be 5d.
Mm-hmm. You're looking for 5s and 6s. Ooh, okay. The smell is... You're very lucky you succeeded that roll. The smell is overpowering, so much so that you can't even really get a direction on it. It's deeper in, but you can't really get a direction on it. But you as soon as you do it, you go, oh, and you just sort of, okay, it's definitely around here somewhere, but I don't know where it is, basically.
Yeah, so I guess I just have to walk around and search blindly.
Bear in mind, Cerise has just seen you go, oh. so she looks at you. So she looks at you very. She's alarmed, to say the least. She's a bit like, okay. And she turns round to Filberto and says, "Are you sure he's all right?"
Yeah, shall we take him to the sauna? We'll let him cook it. We'll let him cool down a bit.
Mm-hmm. She says, "I think that'll be best." Giselle will be along in a moment. Have fun.
Thanks.
Will do.
So we'll say Sangun walks with you because he's on a call at the moment. So where are you guys going to go?
I was actually going to take. I was going to take Dennis to the sauna.
Okay, so you walk.
But I'm going to wander him along the corridor slowly.
Okay.
Almost like I'm dragging him slowly.
So as you wander through the corridor, you can see that there are people in several rooms, all drinking and cajoling and laughing. Most of the women here are quite good looking, but you are getting a whiff of the arcane about the way that they look. So they've definitely been touched up, if you know what I'm saying, to looking much better than they actually look. But people here seem to be having a good time. You know, there is faint music, and in terms of recorder players, megaphones, things like that. There are playing the latest music of the time. And if you've ever played Fallout, you know what kind of music I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when you get to the sauna rooms, when you look into the sauna, there are a few people who drank way too much or had way too much opium who are sweating it out and sort of coughing and spluttering, and a few of them are shivering. And there's
opium in the sauna room.
Is the smell in there? No.
I mean, if there's opium in the sauna room.
Oh, there is opium, yeah.
Oh yeah, my character's not doing anything useful anytime soon then.
Yeah, so he's gonna head in and partake in a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, a lot.
Okay.
I think I'd probably try to keep him on task.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
I can.
you see Dennis look in, his eyes light up, and he immediately goes to open the door.
I just kind of put my like big fucking giant ass hand on like to hold the door closed. It's like we have work to do.
Yeah.
From behind you, there is a demure female voice. I says, excuse me.
Mhm.
What are you looking for? And you turn around. There is one of the girls is standing there. She has again fiery red hair. She looks like a younger version of the girl up front, to be honest with you. But obviously not her daughter. She's only a couple of years younger.
And
There's a
assuming
corpse
she's
here.
just
Is there a what?
There's a corpse here. There shouldn't be a corpse in a nice place like this.
How do you know there's a? Have you killed someone?
I'm gonna just kind of put.
Why would
put
I
a- put a hand-
admit to that if I killed someone?
I'm gonna put a hand between them and just kind of like just like with fingers like and just turn towards her and say, "You've had someone coming in that's been particularly violent of late."
As soon as you say those words, you see her face kind of twitch. Like, oh.
And I'm just gonna take a step towards her. Show me.
She says, she just like,
One of your girls might be in danger.
she nods and says, it's Hannah. She danced for a collector of antiques and erotic paraphernalia. Things like that, you know? Listen, I've not seen her for a while. I just... Oh, I know. 1 second. And she takes you back to the front desk. And she says to Cerise, she says, these gentlemen are looking for Hannah. And she looks at you with a new air. And she looks at Dennis and says, even him? You guys can have to hang there if you want. Cause,
Yeah, no, we're gonna
I
sit
said
down
I'm
and say,
looking for the dead person.
She says, now you're being more on topic of what that gentleman was asking for.
yeah.
How do you know there's a corpse here though? That's bad for business. You have to understand, gentlemen. I can't let you just turn the place upside down looking for a corpse. This is a whorehouse, okay?
I'm gonna kind of lean into her, so like towards her, and just say, you know, one of your like.
One of your girls is in danger.
One or more, and you know, and say we're what was his name? Ellis.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for Ellis.
And she nods and says, all right, I can see that you're all right, fine. She goes behind the front desk and takes a coat off a hanger. Says, this is his. You may look through it. He left it when he left here in a hurry a few nights ago.
Was he a bit of a big spender?
Oh yes, but I did get the sense that he spent everything he had and then left, rather than he spent a large sum of money only to return. If you know what I'm saying.
He's
What
not
did he
here right now.
And what did he spend it on?
Well, if you were in the market for some erotic paraphernalia, I'm afraid to tell you, I am cleared out. If you know what I'm saying.
I'm gonna turn.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn towards Filberto. It's like his bag, and I'm just gonna kind of like dust off my hands again, just kind of like out of like ugh.
All right.
It's like, look, I'm just gonna like look. I think he's becoming dangerous.
So, have you looked inside the coat that you were given?
I'm gonna look.
Okay. You find an unfinished letter there to a Josephine Bergman.
Fair enough. I'm gonna read the letter. Is there anything?
It's unfinished. It's just ramblings of soon we'll be together. And my love, I miss you so much. And what he has filled in is an address.
Okay. Say, you didn't happen to have a Josephine at this? You didn't have a Josephine here, did you?
No, the last of my girls to serve this gentleman was looks on the ledger. Hannah, and she has not been seen in a few days, actually. The colour drains out of her face as she puts the pieces together. And she goes,
I do,
oh.
do like finger guns.
Oh. She turns
Can we check out the room? Do you know which room?
And she says, I don't. It might have even have been a booth. I don't know. You have complete run of the place, though. You just go where you need to go.
And I'm gonna turn, and I'm just gonna tell her, like, if he comes back, hold him for us.
And she nods and says,
"Can I have a look at the ledger? See who's in tonight?"
Yeah, sure. So she hands you the ledger. What are you looking for?
I'm wanting to see if there's a booth that isn't in use, that hasn't been in use all day or all night or whatever. It's empty.
Okay, so you're looking for that. Okay, so you do see that there is a booth near the back of the ground floor that has been marked as in use all day and prepaid by a Messer Ellis.
Bingo. And you say he wasn't here.
Well,
maybe we should check this booth out.
He's not here, but he did rent that room out, but I assumed he was going to return and sleep there.
Interesting.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, let's go check that one out.
And then we'll head to Josephine's.
Alice, who is the other redhead, says, well, good luck, we'll be here. Just come back with any news, okay?
Alright.
Will do.
So you guys go to the back, and I assume you're going straight there.
Yeah.
Dennis, as you're approaching the room, the smell gets worse and worse, until finally you open the door, and there's nothing there. There is a definite booth where there's a lounge, there's a seating area, but you can see that it almost looks pristine, too pristine, almost.
Like, can I tap around various places of the room to see, like, is it under the floor? Is it in the wall?
Are you using your blood sensors to do that too?
Nah, this time not too much stress.
Okay, so you cannot feel anything unusual about the room as you're poking around it. It seems like a normal room.
Then I just point out it's odd. The stench is unbearable here, but I don't see anything. Could it be illusion magic or some sorcery like that?
Yeah, I'll see if there's try to work out if there's any any.
Am I smelling anything, Team?
If you need to tell me when you want to use that power.
I'm just like, am I smelling anything unusual, just in general, without using particular power?
And would I smell anything as a non?
So, second question first. No. First question. You are smelling an absolute stench of rotting meat. Yes, in this room, but around this room too. But you can't really fathom the direction that it's going in. You're also getting a very large chemical smell coming from below you.
Would I be able to tell the chemical smell?
Yes.
Would I be able to guess what chemical it was?
Yes.
Do I need to roll for that?
I would say roll for it, yeah. Yeah, but add 3 dice to the roll. Alrighty, so you know that there has been a very virulent cleaning fluid used on the floor. And as you trace it along the floor with your fingers where it's sticky, it heads towards the back door, heading to the back alley at the back of the establishment.
Looks like somebody tried to clean it up. And I'll gesture to the door.
Open the door?
You might want to check outside.
Yeah, I'll open the door and check out.
Okay, so when you open the door to the outside, the rain is bucketing down, and to your right you see the main street is just about 30 feet down the road, down the alleyway towards the main street, and to your left you see a load of garbage bins and refuse piles, things like that have been left there to be taken away.
I'm gonna look at Sangan and Dennis and say, Any leads? I'm just gonna say if it's looking at the rubbish bins, looking at the bins.
Yeah, I was gonna take like if there's like a piece of wood or something I can poke around, see if there seems to be a body in there.
Right, the smell out here is unbearable, and as you move some of the things around, there is a twitch from underneath the bin bags.
See if we can't dig it out.
So as soon as you remove one of the bin bags, you see the body of looks like a girl in her early 20s. She is bloated. She has had several wounds punctured on her. And there is a strange orange fluid seeping out of her eyes, her nose, her mouth, other orifices. And she seems to be twitching. And on the ground next to her, on the ground next,
take a step back.
Yeah, on the ground next to her, there is what can only be described as a sort of reptilian slug. And this slug is about a foot long, and it has bony mandibles on one end. And it appears to be dead. It is a very dark green colour. It appears to be dead.
We should probably first tie up the corpse in case she comes back to life soon, considering that's a thing in the setting.
How about we work out what they're afflicted with?
The demons, like demons possessing, right? That is a thing. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And probably should also go and report to the poorhouse lady in case she wants to see the corpse before we chop it up and burn it.
So what are you guys going to do right now?
I want to work out what she's afflicted with, specifically.
So, yeah.
I will probably go let them
Or
know
was
that we found what was probably Hannah.
Okay.
And I'll tie her up in case she returns from the dead.
Okay. So you tie her up and you got a okay, so again disappears into the building again. And Dennis is tying it up with the corpse. And Filberto is doing some checks. Filberto, roll a witch check, please.
Might use the savant thing here.
Yep, can do. Lovely. Okay, 2 successes. So, you can see that whatever this thing was, you're determining that it is a parasite, and that when its host died, it crawled out of the mouth of this girl. Either that, or it already succeeded in its purpose and then crawled out and died.
Interesting. And so, and the host is the host is most certainly dead.
Yes.
Okay. Well, looks like we found why. Well, it looks like
the corpse starts to vibrate violently. Extremely violently.
I'm gonna take a few steps back.
Yeah.
Draw my rifle.
Yeah. Orange fluid starts to spill out all over the place, as the body, at least the chest cavity and torso, split apart, and out bursts a creature that rapidly grows within a few seconds to be about 7 feet tall. It is humanoid with razor-sharp claws, with fangs, serrated fangs. It has no skin, and it is howling at you and looking directly at you, but it has no eyes, strangely.
I mean, we would recognize.
You are inside.
We would have been taught. I'm saying, but as Blackcoats, we'd be taught to recognize, like, particular demons.
Yes, this is not something that you've come across before.
Good luck, guys.
Attack with a machete? That seems like a universally... Well, axe, because I have the stats for that. So with an axe?
Yep, are you going to go and try and hack it to pieces?
Yeah.
All
What am I
right.
waiting for?
Go ahead.
Roll for initiative.
Yeah.
Initiative was wits
Speed and wit,
plus swiftness, right? Wits and...
or swiftness and wits.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Swiftness and wit. Yeah. I was going to roll d6 to. Oh, okay.
Well, got to roll low sometimes.
So the initiative of
Oh, I
the
see. My bad.
the
I wasn't
initiative
sure
of
if
the
it was a
creature is 5. Sangun,
Is it,
you heard
is
that
it the
howl.
initiative and wits and a d6, or is it
Yes.
just the initiative and wits?
Those two and a d6. Sangun, you heard that howl, by the way.
Yeah.
The party
would,
inside has stopped abruptly.
Yeah. I'm gonna just. Can I see Claire or her guard, her big ass bodyguard?
Yeah. They're there.
It's like we found Claire. We found Claire. I'll be right back, and I'm gonna pull out what my guitar and turn back towards that door.
Okay, you're going to book it towards the...
Yeah.
All right. So, that would be... who gets the first? I think that would be... Was it Dennis who goes first? I think it is.
I think Filberto has way higher rolls.
Yeah, it's 1d6, Filberto. So you add your,
Oh.
your things and you roll
My bad.
1d6.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So
So your initiative is 6. Now your initiative is 12.
Yeah.
Okay. So Filberto, you'll be going first.
Okay. I will shoot it with a rifle.
Yep, just a normal shot.
Yep.
Go for it.
And I believe that was... Let me just cheat.
Whatever your rifle says.
Yeah. Yeah. So 6/wit.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Let's see what this does. Okay. So a few bullets rip into the chest of this thing and send it staggering backwards. But you can see the bullet holes immediately close up. But it seems hurt, but it immediately closes up. But instead of, I think it's actually Dennis next.
Yeah, because I got 8. So I would attack it with the axe.
Yep, you don't need to run up to it. It's definitely in range.
Well, then axe to the back of the head it is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Jesus. Okay, yeah. So you start hacking away at this thing, and it howls in pain. It absolutely howls in pain. In its turn... Right, in its turn, it turns around and swipes at you as it tries to dive away, Dennis. Right? And it scores a raking hit down your arm. Which isn't great. Before your armor, that will be 10 damage. Before your armor. Then, so take off wherever your armor is.
5, I think. So it's 5 damage.
Mm-hmm. Alright. It then dives away and Spider-Man-esque jumps up the side of the building and scrambles away into the night, howling. You both saw this happen, and so you'll both take 3 points of stress damage. So take 3 points of stress. So either lose 3 from your pool of 10, or add 3 to your, your well, however you're counting it. Because this was not fun to see.
I should have bound the chest, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sangern bursts into the street, Bruce Lee-esque, and slams down onto the tarmac, looking around. And he's swiftly followed by Cerise and a few bodyguards. Cerise immediately starts screaming when she sees Hannah on the floor.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not what I left it as.
You don't want to see this. Trust me, you don't want to remember her like this. Go back inside.
Yeah, she does. She doesn't need convincing. Like, her bodyguards take her inside.
Before one of the, because I'm gonna just put a hand on one of them so
Yep.
it doesn't, so it's like, and the body's gonna need to be quartered and burned.
He kind of looks like Pippin from Berserk, just this big dude. And
Is there enough of the body left?
yeah, it's going to be scraped up. It needs to be scraped up. Like, it's in two halves now.
Okay.
But he says, he looks and says, I'll see to it.
Yeah, because I mean that's common knowledge, right? That,
Mhm.
Yeah, you don't leave the bodies.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just kind of step aside of them and say, "You look like shit. What the hell happened?"
Well, bug is all I'm gonna say. One big bug.
Imagine like someone gave birth, but they were dead, and it instantly attacked you.
Okay.
I need to go inside and get my prostitute. See you guys later.
We still need to go find Josephine.
Don't you see that my arm is basically ripped off? Give me a moment, okay?
I'm gonna turn towards Filberto.
Yeah.
We don't need another one of these. We don't need another one of these running around.
No. Seems to be. I think what I gather is it obviously used this poor girl as a host, or as a breeder. Sorry, yeah, as a host, as a reproductive host. So yeah, we want to get rid of this bastard.
I'm gonna turn towards Dennis and say, "We're going ahead. Catch up when you can."
Will do.
I'm gonna.
Okay,
I'm just gonna
I
laugh.
go.
Cool. Let's stay with Dennis for a minute. How are you going to heal yourself, Dennis?
Well, that's what I need the prostitute for.
Ahaha. So you're going to head inside and...
Yeah, get the prostitute I bought, take
Okay.
her to her room, and try to fuck her until she's unconscious, but in some inconspicuous place, like under the armpit or on the head, between hair, so it's not easily found.
That's fine. I'm just gonna let you do that because that's one of your powers, and the only way you can actually heal. But it's gonna take you a while. You'll catch up with the other two in a few minutes.
You should have just said to her that was your kink and ask her if she's okay with it.
So,
Yes.
She doesn't want vampire herpes. Come on.
we have an address
Yes, we do.
and a name. Josephine Bergman is the name.
Yep. Guess we're on our way.
I was going to see if we can't climb up. Which building did it climb up?
It climbed up the Cerise's house building.
Fair enough.
I mean, yeah, it's like I think I was actually, as we're going, I would suggest we go, and that if we can come across any
Surely
well,
we
there's
want
not
to keep scoping out Cerese's place to get rid of that thing first. We don't want that thing running around.
Wait, I still need to get my payment from Cerise from finding the corpse.
This is also true.
She gives you 10 shillings.
Neato.
We don't want that to find another host.
Well, I don't know how we're gonna follow that thing up the side of a building. I
Does it
think we're
leave
gonna
like a
need-
trail or anything like slime or whatever?
Not from what you can see. Not from what you can see.
I think, I think one thing we can stop is a second one. I think we need to, find him, find Ellis, before there are more of the things, and then bring, and then report back to HQ.
Okay. I was gonna say maybe we should listen. Maybe wait a few minutes, see if one of the many patrons in that place happens to come across them. evidently that thing probably relies on a host to survive.
Well, I
So
probably,
it's going
but
to
I
be
think
looking.
that,
It's going to be looking for a new host right now.
oh, I think that I'm going to point to the worm,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, I think that thing is like a wasp.
Yeah.
It's, like these worms are probably what's laying the eggs. But I think if we don't stop this at the, this is just, Sangren's just speculating. He's not like the smart one, but it's like, but we know that the first one is because of Ellis, right? That much we know.
So we follow off Ellis and maybe leave Dennis to find out this.
Yeah, or he knows where we're going. He can catch up. One way or
Yeah.
another.
All right. So you guys head through the streets, and it's a few blocks away, and you head over there in the rain. People still seem to be marching towards or walking towards the island where you guys live. And you can actually see in different parts of the district there are certain streets where the lamps are off. The lamps are not on anymore. So the whole streets are in darkness. The ones where you are okay for now.
For now.
Is this expected?
No. When you guys get to the house itself, it is a townhouse. It's not a bad place. It seems detached fully from everything around it. It seems like if you have an American-style suburban house, made of timber, painted white, bit faded.
Picket fence.
Yeah, it's a bit faded. And there's a few of these houses dotted around, and there's a park area too. Pretty much run down. We're entering fall now. We're entering autumn. So, pretty much run down. But the lights are all off in this house. And that's
Or
definitely
is the
place.
door closed?
The door is closed.
Well, is it locked? Because I'm going to try to open it. I think I'm just going inside.
Okay,
Right.
so the door offers little resistance. It is locked, but it's only from like a little latch lock, and your strength easily just pushes it aside. On the floor in front of you, there are footprints, and they seem to be heading away from you and up the only staircase.
I'm going to look to Sangern and say, do you smell anything?
Do I smell anything?
You smell something very, very wrong. That's all I can say.
So I'm going to take out...
and
I'm
the
gonna
footprints
take
are
out-
definitely part of the smell.
Yeah. So I'm going to take out a guitar and, just kind of like have my coat aside so I have easy access to my dagger if I need it. I'm not going to pull it out just yet.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go up those stairs.
Yep. I'll keep my rifle limbered.
Right. So you guys...
By the way, do you have any other weapons?
I have a knife, but I'm really terrible with a knife.
I might hand him my my backup revolver.
Okay.
Pistol.
Okay.
So the pistol is now in the arm. Mind copy and pasting the stats for it on the...
Yeah.
Alright. So, are you guys heading straight
Oh.
upstairs? I'm guessing?
It's not copying well. Sorry, one second. I'm gonna copy it from above because
It's okay.
I put it into a table, so it's not copying correctly.
Mhm.
By the way, am I there yet or still?
Yeah. You've caught up to the house. You see it's
Okay.
the door is open to the world, but you've not seen your compatriots, so you're thinking they're probably inside.
Is this just like a standard pistol?
Yeah,
Because I think it might be further up the chat.
it's
I got
standard
it.
pistol.
I just pasted it.
Ah, cool.
So you guys, as you're going upstairs, you hear footsteps behind you.
And can I mean, I'll glance back to see if it's someone we should be concerned about.
It looks like it's Dennis who's just entered the room.
Yeah.
He's
so
sidestepping the goo on the floor.
I'll nod towards the the upstairs and continue on.
So, when you get upstairs, there are only 2 rooms. On the right-hand side, there is a bathroom. And the door's open. You can't really see anything in there or on towards. The door on your left is closed, but you can hear a really distinct gargling sound coming from inside.
I think it's time to kick that door down.
Alrighty. You kick it down. Inside, you can see there is what looks like a hand, an arm, on the floor, just hanging around the crook of a doorway that leads to what looks like an ensuite bathroom. The rest of the room is a mess. It looks like a real struggle went down in here.
I will, carefully enter the room, look around, but heading towards the arm.
Both Filberto and Dennis, you are in that room now as well.
Yeah.
Are you going straight to the ensuite bathroom?
I think so. I mean, I'm like stepping carefully, but yeah, mostly that's where my focus is.
Okay.
Yeah, I can imagine myself going pretty hastily and angrily.
So, in the other room, you see a woman lying on the floor, and there is a man squatting over her with his mouth open, and what appears to be one of the parasites that you saw outside of Cerese's place, hanging out of his mouth, attached to her throat, and it seems to be pumping something inside of her, or inside of the throat cavity.
Can I go to slice that with my guitar?
You certainly can.
Yeah. I think I will do that.
I'm honestly, I would also just attack on sight if I saw that.
Yeah, that's
Alrighty.
bad juju.
I'm
Alrighty.
just gonna be weirded the fuck out by what I'm seeing.
Do we roll initiative?
Are we doing initiative first?
Yeah, let's roll initiative. Actually, no, I'm going to let you do that one attack first. Whoever's doing it, so it'll be Sanguin's doing it.
Sanguine first then. He said it first.
Just do that attack first, yeah.
Oh, that was my, just so you have it, my initiative. But yeah, so I'll do the attack. And close combat, the stat plus, since my weapons are based on swiftness, I'll do the swiftness one. So it's 5d6 then.
Yep. All right. So we do the blade extending from your wrist, from your hand. You punch down into this thing and slice it clean in half. The man reels backwards, screaming, and the thing flops out of his mouth and out of his throat, and he starts gargling. He stands up, and he jumps up, and he immediately charges you, screaming hoarsely. Everybody roll initiative, and you've already done that. Good. I will now roll for him.
Dennis still needs his.
Okay. My initiative was 5, so me and Dennis need to.
Oh, that's his. He has +5.
Oh yeah,
right?
cool. Yeah. So
plus 4, so it's 9.
I'm going last. So who's going first? There's the case in point.
Filberto got 11.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I got 8.
I think Filberto's going first.
Oh, I will again shoot. I will shoot him with a rifle again. I
You're
will just be
filling this motherfucker with lead.
Yeah.
Okay.
The time for questions is over. Now's the time to push buttons.
Okay, so no hits there.
I thought he has a 6 at the end.
Yeah, you need 2 to score a hit though.
Oh.
I want to give you another round. Have another round because you did catch him flat-footed. He is very surprised. So give it another go. Okay, this one, a bullet slams right into his forehead, and he keeps coming. It goes straight in and straight out the back of his head, but he just keeps coming.
Was this Ellis, by the way?
You don't know yet.
We haven't. Ah.
So he comes straight forward. Who's next?
Me, I think.
Yeah, Dennis is next. But we
Okay.
did see Ellis in the bar.
If you saw
Yeah.
him in the bar, then this is Ellis.
Alright. So I'm doing a melee attack, so a charge, right? And that's 2 extra dice.
You don't need to charge. He's right on top of you. So you
Okay,
can.
so no extra dice. So with the mace then.
Mhm.
With the mace this time, because last time the axe didn't work well.
Is the
Nice.
creature now out of his mouth?
Yeah, well, it's dead. It's on two parts on the floor. Okay, so that is a whiff of a roll. All right.
Yeah, crit fail. As I
So
remember.
we are going with Sangun now.
Okay, so I think he's been shot in the head and he's still moving.
Mhm.
So I do think it's definitely a silver dagger kind of situation going on here.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna attack with that.
Mhm.
And
Nice. So as it comes up, you just start punching it with the dagger right in the stomach and in the throat. Just bang, 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 and you just orange and crimson fluid just spilling out as he
Gross.
grabs you around the throat in his and you're getting that same stench from the room, but much worse.
Interesting that it's orange.
So
yes, I'm quite well aware that blood should not be that color, and that's part of the reason I'm definitely sticking with the silver dagger.
So, yeah, okay. So Ellis's strength starts to ebb away, but his claws do scratch into your throat as he starts to drag down your body, and then he starts to like fall to the ground, and his strength ebbs away. You are taking 9 damage before your armor.
So yeah, I've got 6 armor right now in my vest, my boots, my
Ooh.
trench coat.
Okay, so you will take 3.
And it was our health is 2 of our highest stat, right?
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so 6.
So, yeah, he is going to. He falls to the ground, and he's still alive, and he still starts to try and crawl towards you with his hand outstretched.
Can I just like coup de grace?
Yep.
With the dagger.
Yep, you're going to stab him right in the head. Oh, you don't need to roll for that. You just punch straight through his fucking skull, which almost caves in on impact, and he falls to the floor like. Bleh. Have you ever seen the Asian guy who got killed on the last and The Walking Dead? That's what his head looks like, just like on the floor.
Flute.
So, you stand up, and you're all panting, but the danger seems over for now.
Well,
No,
I am.
that
gonna,
is not.
yeah.
That is definitely not the case because the woman.
Is the woman still alive?
I said seems over.
I think we all just gotta stand up and then turn towards the woman.
Yeah, I'm gonna point my rifle at the woman.
I take out my dynamite and chains.
Okay. She starts to vibrate quite violently.
All right, I'm gonna take my silver dagger and just punch it straight into the chest.
She stops vibrating suddenly. So she starts to vibrate, and you see you all level your weapons at this thing, and Sangurn's training takes over. He jumps forwards and he rams the dagger, this razor sharp dagger, into the chest, slams it down there, and the body immediately goes limp and actually starts to melt into an orange viscous fluid.
There's definitely that whole moment of me like having my hand on the dagger still, just in case. And then that happens, and I just kind of in shock, like and then hop back. And then there's just me staring as my weapon gets covered in horrible green or orange goo.
Yeah, you see her face just collapse in on itself as the and all that's left pretty much is the clothes and the hair but with this orange goo splattered all over the ground, just in a big
What about the guy?
gooey pile.
Has he also melted?
He has started to melt. Yes.
Interesting.
I'm gonna point at him, look at the others, and say, "That's not right."
I mean, how do you know? I don't remember learning about those.
That doesn't seem biological.
I don't think
They
we've
wouldn't melt
ever
their host.
I've never seen heard of anything like this.
Virus wouldn't melt
Yeah.
their host after death. It would likely
What
have
if
killed.
it wants to hide the evidence? Some sort of natural mechanism already for that.
I don't think most viruses have enough cognitive thought to go how to hide the evidence. They
think-
care about is spreading as quickly and as efficiently as possible.
Oh, they're certainly doing a good job at that because there's one more running around.
Yeah, so I'm gonna turn. So I turn towards him and say, "Let's see if we can find any evidence of this black box." But it's time to call this in.
All right. So you guys look around the room. I'm not going to make you roll for it. You guys look around the room. You can see there is a letter on the writing desk in the bedroom that you're in now, and it seems to have been abandoned when somebody burst into the room. Obviously. Now, the only reason I gave you that straight away because there's nothing else in here. It's just a normal bedroom. You can look around in it, sure.
Is there? So what's on the letter?
Yeah.
Who's cracking it open? Let's have a look.
I'll let Sango and open it.
Yeah, Sanger would probably do it. He's probably also retrieved his dagger from the goo and wiped it on some of the bed sheets or something. And
Sweet.
Maybe, there's running water, rinsed it off.
Mm-hmm. So this is the letter that you get. So I'll read it out just for people who are. So, Ellis, your superior gave me this address when I asked to contact you, but assured me you were not there, and you were not when I called. I will leave a letter and pray it finds you. You've been gone for so long, chasing whoever you're chasing, whatever you're chasing. Is it really so dangerous? Like, come home to me. We can sail for the Isles and find work there. My father always said you were a reliable sort, so let me take you home to him. You'll understand. He'd offer you gainful work if you're not so stubborn. Think on it, I beg of you. We have a baby on the way. It's time to stop chasing phantoms for the government and just settle. Yours forever, Josephine.
Did Dennis show any interest in the letter when I started reading it? Because unless Dennis was interested, I probably wouldn't have read it out loud. I'd have just looked at it.
Yeah, of course he shows interest. It's his job. He has to at least do the bare minimum.
Yeah, so I would have read it out loud to him then.
Mm-hmm.
So she was pregnant.
Well,
Interesting.
not anymore.
Interesting.
Well,
This-
time to chop up the corpse and go home then.
And this disease also infects the baby. Interesting.
So,
I mean, pretty melted at this point.
so
Right, no, yeah, melted.
the body of Ellis has begun to melt, but it's not actually there yet. In fact, it just seems like parts of him are melting, not the whole body.
I'd say we take this one back. Might be some interesting research.
Just out of character, Dean. If we report this in, generally, would the organization take care of like bringing in the bodies and such, or would that be on us?
There are wet work teams who can come in and clear up.
I offer to autopsy the body.
I'm gonna like just look
With a
Roberto dead
disturbing
in the eye
theme.
and says, "You can autopsy the body here. That stench
Okay.
is not coming back with us."
It's all
Okay.
yours. Let's just make sure the baby doesn't turn into a monster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, Sangren's gonna gag a little at that thought.
So
Right, okay.
go
so,
ahead and
yeah,
roll a wits
table.
roll with a +3 dice, please.
Ooh.
That's
How
for
often
Berto.
can you use the savant thing?
As much as you like.
Okay, I'm going to use it here because it makes sense that I'm doing surgery. So,
Nice. So with a few swift cuts of your knife, you can tell that Filberto's in his element here. He's just rifling through this guy's pockets and his veins and checking what's going on and checking the heart, checking everything. Everything seems normal. The only thing that's abnormal is in the throat cavity. There are puncture holes. Okay. Where probably this thing has attached itself, and the blood has been replaced with this orange viscous fluid. Its teeth are falling out and are in the process of being replaced by fangs. But you're not really sure what the hell is going on with this. You also find a set of keys in his pocket, and the keys are to a place called Blackcoat, Black Site Tacit, with an address.
Guess that. Fair enough. Does there look like to be any damage to the spinal cord?
No.
Or any puncture around the back of the neck?
There is puncture wounds around the back of the
throat.
neck. Yes.
Sorry, so basically next to the spinal cord in the neck.
Yes.
Cool. So it could be potentially that this thing is hijacking the nervous system.
So one more thing that you find is a note.
Mm-hmm.
And it is rambling. Completely rambling. The only things you can really make out on this thing is that Derek Gray is referred to within this rambling short manifesto as the brood father. And the last lines note that the cursed light will soon go out for the feast.
Oh. No. I mean,
and I'm just gonna cast a glance at you, and just be like,
"Oh no, I'm not hearing this. We went downstairs. That was out of character."
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
We're not here while you're doing whatever it is you're doing to that
Yeah,
body.
I'm stealing the furniture.
Yeah,
I was
downstairs.
searching
For
for.
evidence.
You are, apart from the footprints of goo, you are finding it is a normal home. There is a telephone. There is a telegram machine. So quite well-to-do home.
A telegram machine.
Could we use the telegram to reach superiors, or would we have to use ours?
So you try the telegram machine. Its light is not on. It is not functioning right now.
Is there any power in the house still?
It doesn't look like it.
You want me to come down and check? I'll come down and take a look.
Are you
Take a
sharing
look
the
at the
information
machine.
that you just accrued, or are you keeping
Yes,
that to you?
I will do.
Okay.
That looks like these things seem to be afraid of the light. Reluctant. They seem to hate the cursed light, as they put it. So
We need to
I
get
don't know
mobiles
if that's
versus
sunlight.
flight them. We need to get mobiles versus flight them.
Could do, yes. That might be a good way to fight these bastards. Or did anyone notice the fact that there was no lighting in the streets outside? Somebody looked like they cut all the power lines.
So you've read that letter to us, right? But
Yeah.
So it's like I did notice that. Also noticed that there's been a lot of people kind of ambling in a general direction.
I don't steal
Yeah.
some mine, don't worry.
And I found a key. Seems to say Black Site Tacit. Found on the corpse.
I think we need to let
Found
our
on the-
superiors know, and then maybe head that direction. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna gesture towards the
Well, you guys
the,
know that
telegram.
Black Site Tacit is a Blackcoat safe house where they house different anomalies and stuff. So they should have power, even backup power generators or something over there. Just I only say that because you know that's something that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I'd probably just take this telegraph so we don't have to go and retrieve ours.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at it first before I'd say let me have a look. Maybe it's been tampered with. I'm gonna check I'm gonna open it up.
Mm-hmm. Do a will roll. Just sorry, Will. A wits roll, normal wits roll. Yeah, you're not seeing anything wrong with it. It just got no power. There's no power to the house. Looks like.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think we need to get this powered up. Let headquarters know what's happening.
Is it not quicker to go back to the library? It's not like we're that far away.
I want to know why what cut the power.
Well, that is
Actually,
worrying.
Just for, it would be, we could find somewhere with power faster than going back to the library, most likely, right, Dean?
Yes.
That would be logical.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I think the faster we can get a message out, then we can,
To be fair, as Blackcoats, you know that all black sites have power round the clock to make sure nothing escapes. So
I probably wouldn't head to that particular black site because something bad is happening there. Right.
well, the next one is like way further into the city. It's nowhere near where you are now. They don't keep many of them in cities. I think there's only 3 in New Corinth altogether. This one is basically the one that your cell and other cells like yours look after when it's here.
Okay.
So
Well, we can't go to the whorehouse, but we can go to the bar if it's closer by, or just some random civilian's house if he has lights on.
Literally, I mean, we could head toward the site in the first place we see with power, stop, send this telegraph, and then get back, get on our way.
Well, we still
Right.
have to wait for the answer, so I don't know if there's really a need to rush things that much, because we still need to wait for the answer, and that's probably gonna take like half an hour to an hour.
What would I mean? since our characters would have been trained, what would like the general protocol for something like this when things are going this far out of whack be?
call it in. Yeah, call it in. Protocol will be to call it in, and head to your nearest black site to call. If there's no power, head to your nearest black site essentially. Because there'll be more Blackcoats there essentially, and or there should be at least.
Well, I mean, no,
How about we
Sangren
go
is
to the black
nervous.
site that we were told to go to, Lanark Street or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
You mean the library?
Yeah. No, the other one, black site at.
From the
yeah,
telegraph
from the
bell.
original letter. Yeah, Larkham Street. Sorry.
That's where the black site is on Larkham Street.
That's
Yeah.
the one we're going to.
I really don't think we should go there without any sort of preparation. That's where the bad stuff is.
Well, we don't know we don't really know much about it. We just, sorry, did the letter say that they were going to the black site, or did we just have the black site key?
You just have the key. Yeah.
Yeah, the letter didn't say where they were going.
No.
Yeah, but it kinda implies it if there's an address there.
Well, at the very least, we can. How far away is it compared to our library?
The library is around double the distance from the black site. The black site from here is around 2 blocks over, whereas they're going back. You got to go across this section of New Corinth and get across the bridge to get to where your library is, your home.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, we should pass by the black site and see what is up there before we call in. Because if it's been compromised,
I think we really need to call in first, at least.
yeah, if we see a house with power on the way past the black site,
Mhm.
we call in, but we should walk through and see if it looks like it's been compromised.
Well, our superiors should at least know what happened if we die during the mission.
Oh yeah, so
Yep. Okay, that sounds like a reasonable plan.
We could look into an outdoor junction box if there's one around.
Okay, so outside you can see for several blocks there is no power. You're not seeing. It's really weird the way that it works out because there's no power here. You can see where there is power by the silhouette of light, and it looks like there might not even be power in this whole district of the city. So your entire home district may be without power at the moment.
Would our hideout have like backup generators?
No.
Or would it just be
No, the whole point of it is to be incognito. So
Yeah, so we'd have to go to the black site.
Okay, can I send the kids to go all back to the orphanage and lock themselves up before we go
Sure.
anywhere?
Yep. You can see one of the urchins just wandering around. You can call them over. They will do that for you. They will head back to the orphanage and.
Here, kiddo, have the machete. All
Are
lock yourselves up in the orphanage.
Are they done trying to steal the furniture?
Well, let's say they stop midway through and go home.
they put down like the priceless chest of drawers, and it's like start running home. Okay,
Like,
so I'm
one
making
of them crawls out from like the underwear cabinet.
I will make a note that the children are safely quote unquote in the orphanage. There you go. I'm not above killing children. Things I thought I'd never say. So.
But it's important that he takes his parental role seriously in all of this, you know?
Exactly. So you guys are on your way to the black site. On your way to the black site.
You know, I thought we'd feel a lot safer saying we were heading there, but you know, I really don't.
Yeah. This would be. I'm gonna put this up to see if anyone can. It is even in my notes. This is a good place to end the session if need be.
Yeah.
I can end it here, or it's going to take another hour, I would say, to finish what we were doing. So we can either end it here or do the rest, or whatever you guys want to do. I don't mind.
I'm going to propose that I'm going to have to call it.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem.
Of course.
So that is a good place to leave it, as you guys are looking out at the city, as the lights start going out around you, and you can hear the one or two howls off in the distance. As I will leave it.
One or two.
This time. Yeah.
Oh.
So we'll leave it there this time. We will adjourn and come back and think of another day to do this, because I think we're leaving it in quite a suspenseful place, to say the least.
Yeah.
But yes, that was the first session of Blackcoats. So you don't get any XP yet. We haven't finished the mission. But when the mission is finished, that's when you will get XP. When we do our next session, we'll probably finish the mission like halfway through that session. So I won't do any XP until the end of that session, not the end of the mission, if you know what I'm saying. I'll do it at the end of session 2. So well played. That was really, really good.
Nice.
Really, really fun. Hopefully you got a sense of how dark Blackcoats is as a setting and as a game. This isn't the worst that it can be. This is kind of mild, considering how things
You
kind
can
of go.
go beyond that pregnant woman.
Yes,
and
yeah.
Monster.
Oh yeah. Like I
Monster babies.
this is for me
Poor
to.
Sam.
This is where I
So
take.
he's so sheltered, and then all of this is happening.
Yeah,
The poor sheltered little vampire baby.
the gloves are off in Blackcoats, man. I just come out there and I just start swinging. It's you know, normally I watch like Critical Role to just like get me really annoyed, and then I'll come on here and do some Blackcoats. Because it's so happy and squee, and you know, it's just like, yeah, okay, time to kill babies. And I come on here and start.
I was going to say, I felt a bit of an alien vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely, feeling
definitely
that.
alien.
Yeah.
What else? A few other films. Various sci-fi vibes out of that session.
Well,
Out of that monster.
there's your first session, and so I will be in contact. We might have somebody joining us next time. We might not. If he does, it's health related. So if he does, great. Then if he doesn't, also fine. We'll just carry on what we're doing here. And yeah, I will speak to you guys next time. I'll let you go. You guys can go out and chill.
Yeah.
Laters.
All right. See you guys later.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye now. So there you go. That is the first session of Blackcoats in the books, all finished. We will be doing a new session, hopefully start next week, or maybe even middle of next week. The way that we're doing Blackcoats is we're essentially doing it ad hoc, so we're doing it whenever we get everyone together. So we could be doing 2 or 3 a week. We could be doing 1 every fortnight. You know, it's going to be up and down. You know, I'm aiming to finish this off because I think maybe we got the guys hooked a little bit there, which is great. I'm aiming to finish this off. I could even finish it tomorrow if people were available. But you never know. But I will always send out an announcement before we do a session. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully the setting comes across really well. I know the rules didn't that much because we didn't do that much this session. It's more about establishing the themes and certain rules, but mainly the themes of the setting and how we're going to go about things. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you guys next time.